Tēnā koutou katoa, no mai, haere mai. Hello and welcome to everyone. It is day 5 here in this competition, the 2025 IIHF Men's Ice Hockey World Championships Division 2B. It has been a very exciting tournament, culminating in this final day where it comes down to this final game, New Zealand versus Iceland for the last placings. It's been a very exciting week, and it's unbelievable that it's come down to just this last game here for these two teams. The journey to get here has been tough for both of them. They've battled, they've scored goals, they've let them in, but ultimately they're in a position to get a silver medal here or go home with the bronze depending on the results. Let's talk about how New Zealand got here courtesy of the game last night against Bulgaria. Dave, final score there, 3-2 to New Zealand, but it was tight all the way to the very end.
Right, cardiac kids, New Zealand scoring Chalice scoring a goal right 2 minutes left, or less than 2 minutes left in that game. Daigle, sorry.
Yes, on the power play as well.
On the power play, yeah.
Exciting.
And just to pull it ahead, so that was amazing, and puts them in this game where they're now battling for silver or bronze.
Tell us more about that game and how you saw it there, Matt.
Well, it was a tight game. Throughout, it was a tight game, and it was an interesting clash of styles, but that actually kind of wore off eventually, and New Zealand probably played better than their score indicated, and they played well enough that they were in a good spot, but yet Bulgaria held on, and they were 2-2 for a long time until that laser of a shot by McIntosh that went in, and that's really the difference between what really would have upended the tournament table. Instead, we're here playing for second or third place. It was a heck of a game. Bulgaria gave it everything they had, but in the end, two very close teams ended up with a very tight game, and I think that's what we're going to see here too. Two very close teams.
All right, let's have a look at that game from last night. Here comes some highlights of New Zealand versus Bulgaria. And Bulgaria with the first win on the face-off drop. Devlin steps around, pulls up in the corner. He's got Lachlan free there, shooting into the glove of Dimitrov. And the first real save, Udalov. Played it ahead, but picked up by Jacob Carey. George was the net going through, but he can't get it towards the net. And then Chris Eden had a shot that went off the pads of Dimitrov. Good shift here for New Zealand. McIntosh looks to the point. Hayward Jones fires one on, tipped maybe. Eden again. Didn't get it through.
Zone, and that's very strategic. They're passing. They're not just blasting at the net. They're doing some great passing.
And behind the net, turns back. Trying to get to the front, and Chris Eden. Oh, I thought he celebrated for the goal.
It's not to come. This will be the more decisive angle here. Oh, that's
off the crossbar.
Off the bar. Yeah, I think that is
the post.
Looks like a very good call on ice.
Man.
But not fully over, and we play on 0-0.
Bulgaria had big numbers here. Trying to tangle around was Dilkov, but he couldn't get past the defense. That was Dustin Daigle. Look at the numbers here. Couldn't get a pass to the middle, though, or a shot away. To the top. Oh, it's just away from Gatchev, and here comes McIntosh to Freer. Gets a shot away.
Penalty.
And he's going to get a penalty called. Oh, here comes Colin McIntosh up the left-hand side against Dimitrov. Shoots, and a great save into the glove of Dimitrov. And
45 seconds left in this penalty.
Cross-ice pass. Going across to the back door, and they score.
I don't know if that was kicked or pushed.
Number 9 is going to get credited for the goal.
That is a goal.
They are giving it.
Yep. Just allow this pass to get all the way to the corner, but they don't expect the guy coming in behind in the net there in time.
Eden gets it to McIntosh. Carries in the middle. Pulls up. Takes a shot. It's loose. It's there. McIntosh scores! On a messy play in front of the net, McIntosh cleaned it up on the backhand, and New Zealand tie it up.
And then, like you said, wasn't pretty in front. It was supposed to go in the first time, didn't. But they all count the same amount. So.
Oh, yeah. Hudelov can't get through. Eden with a good stick. Lays it off for Regan. And a shot for ex-Rusky Jones. Goes high and they've scored. Oh, how did they work that one in the short side? All right, there's a great stick work from Eden. Just poked it off. Long cross ice pass into the middle. It's there for Devlin. Shoots into the breadbasket, looking for the puck, and the goalie has just slashed at Devlin. Dimitrov not happy there.
There was no whistle, and Devlin was just digging for it.
And the overhead slash from Dimitrov.
There's the first one.
Vasilev, long range shot, and it's through. And Bulgaria score on the power play, tying the game up at 2 apiece.
Vasilev's shot from the blue line was hard to see, and it was not gloved cleanly by Chaba, and that's what we'll see on the replay here.
Spectacular defending.
Throws it to the middle. A man alone takes a shot, loose in the crease, but a New Zealander there clears it up. That was Devlin fighting for it in the corner. Gets kept in by Sandoy. Ortis backhands it towards the net. Still the loose shot. Regan following up and knocks over the defender in front.
Beating that New Zealand put on Bulgaria during that shift made that shot possible, and it came very close.
We'll bring it in. Puts it through the legs. Trying to go forehand, shovel it in. Following up was Carey. It's still loose. Goes in behind the net.
Able to get it in, though. Spectacular goaltending.
Yeah, that particular line is doing a great job of not allowing Bulgaria out of their zone, and that's what's giving them the repeated offensive chance. It looked probably maybe a little worse than it was, but we play on.
Big pass up to Eden. He's got 2 defenders trying to go to the middle. Kicks it, shoots! Oh, put it wide of the left-hand post. Bulgaria don't get the clear. Still there for McIntosh. Daigle's at the point. McIntosh to Ortis. Daigle turns it back for McIntosh. Daigle steps in, shoots, scores! Top shelf for Dimitrov. Justin Daigle.
Upstairs.
So where we keep, what do we keep up there, Dave?
Where Norman keeps his mother.
Oh yeah, baby. Players in the corner. Bulgaria need to get this one out. It's there for Zaleev. Scott Hudelov takes a long shot, but it doesn't count. It's not going to reach the net. And New Zealand have got away with a great victory here. A late power play goal takes them to a 3-2 win. And now they have put themselves in position for a do-or-die silver medal match up against Iceland tomorrow night. But well, as we saw there, a very tight game between New Zealand and Bulgaria. Thank you for joining us tonight, folks. It's been a pleasure bringing you all this action the last couple of weeks. This one, the New Zealand hosting this tournament here this year, the 2025 IIHF Men's Ice Hockey World Championships Division 2 Group B. It's been a pleasure bringing you all the action. My name is Matt Whiffen. Of course, I've had Matt Chavez with me here pretty much the entire tournament and the women's tournament a couple of weeks ago. And Dave Dumnick on my right, who's joined us right at the end for all the glory there, Dave.
The skinny end of the tournament,
Getting to call the final game of this men's tournament.
How lucky am I?
Come down to the final game for the silver medal. Let's talk about the standings now, because pretty much this is the last game. So we can now look at the table and see how it's all wrapped up.
Yeah, and we know exactly what's going to happen here. So we were hoping against hope earlier this morning for a miracle. Anything but a miracle happened. It was Georgia taking the win in all 3 points in what was it was over pretty quickly, and it ended up 15-1. So they made sure. And good on them, because they are going to get promoted out of 2B for that. And that leaves the 2 combatants for this evening at 9 points, which means that no matter what happens tonight, the winner will get the silver. The loser of tonight's game gets the bronze, so they're all on the podium, and that's what they're playing for tonight. Thailand going out this morning, like I said, they had a rough one. And then there was an interesting game between Bulgaria and Taipei. You guys saw that one, right?
Yeah, we were watching that just before. It's Chinese Taipei got the lead towards the end of the game, and then a late equaliser from Bulgaria with the goalie pulled. Yeah, tie it up and send it to overtime, Dave.
And then went into overtime. First shot on goaltender for Chinese Taipei, and it went in. Yeah, unlucky. because it was a lot of time around the net, Bulgaria net during the game, but not in the net, which was the biggest problem.
Yeah, there was a quick one. Hosang came down on one side, missed a breakaway. They turned right back around, get the overtime winner, and that's that. And Bulgaria takes fourth place. Game preview tonight. You guys want to tell us a little bit about Iceland?
Yeah, well, the big one here that I want to talk about is the difference in rankings, but also the head-to-head there. New Zealand and Iceland have only faced off six times, but historically, Iceland have got the wood on New Zealand. They got 6 wins out of 6. New Zealand yet to beat Iceland, and they've got to do it tonight for a very important game.
The rankings, New Zealand sitting at 41st, and Iceland at 34. So there is a big separation there, but anything can happen tonight.
Yeah, I think they will pop up a couple of spots here officially in the rankings, but win or loss either way. So New Zealand's had themselves quite a tournament, and that'll help them in their overall IIHF rankings.
Yeah, so throughout the tournament, both teams have had 3 wins, as we saw from the table. I think Iceland have had some good high scores, so they've got plenty of points on the table. New Zealand had that one big blowout against Thailand, but the rest of their games have been fairly tight. Georgia didn't feel as tight as it was, but I don't think they would be too dissatisfied with that one. Before we get on to the game, let's talk about some lineups.
Okay.
Lineups. Who we got starting in net for New Zealand there, Dave?
Starting in net, Aston Brooks is starting in net, and then in defense, Mitchell Freer and Justin Daigle. Starting front line, Joseph Orr, Regan Alexander, and Alexander Regan and Ian Otis, which is different than what happened last night with that starting lineup.
Yeah, they had Marcus McDonald on that line. So yeah, a bit of a shake-up there. Let's have a look at the starting lineup for the Iceland. Starting in net for them, number 1, Helgi Ivarsson, one of the top goalies of the tournament here, 91% save percentage for him. On defense, number 5, Gunnar Arnsson, he's one of the alternate captains. And number 10, Holdar Skulason, the other defenseman. In the middle, Johan Leifsson, one of the alternate captains, number 23. On the left wing, number 18, Una Runarsson. And on the right wing, Viggo Hinsson, number 21. And that rounds out the Iceland starting lineup.
And I've got 2 notes for you guys. Ivan Dalmato on the ice, and dressed on the ice. Looks like he's on the bench and available. And number 18 has a special day today.
Of course.
Yeah, that's Marcus McDonald.
Yeah. I mean, what a lad. Where do you start with him?
Well, you start by saying number 18 turns 18
happy
today.
birthday, Marcus. And I'm sure.
He's managed to play in 3 different tournaments, IIHF so far. He's played in the under 18s because prior to today he was under 18. And then he's played in the under 20 tournament, and he's of course here tonight making a good run on the third line and has contributed quite a bit.
That's all within the last few months.
Yep.
How amazing.
Unbelievable. Certainly one of New Zealand's rising stars.
Yes. Watch this guy.
And it looks like, of course, we've got the Ice Blacks in the white.
That's right.
And the Falcons in the blue. So Iceland, known as the Falcons, and New Zealand, known as the Ice Blacks. We'll maybe refer to that every once in a while, but generally we'll call them New Zealand and Iceland. And we'll be getting underway here in a minute. Any interesting news there?
Just that the white representing the away team tonight.
Yes.
And even though it is hosted here in New Zealand, in Dunedin, each team has opportunities through this tournament to have hometown advantage.
All right, so we're here at the Dunedin Ice Stadium, about to get started with first period action between New Zealand and Iceland. Iceland win that one first, and they're going to chase that puck. It's Alex Regan on the chase early, and it will be Gleason coming through 1-on-2. He gains the zone, takes a low shot. Brooks looks at it go by his left side, and they flip it back out. It's out. No, it stays in. That's called in, but the puck does roll back to neutral. Iceland have to reset. Puck goes behind. It's going to Daigle, and Iceland gets some new skaters back out. Audis dumps that one as well, and New Zealand will follow form. McIntosh playing with it behind the net, and he's got it in front. Oh, that was a quick chance as that went through the crease, but no shot available as the stick was lifted. Long shot in from the point. Deflection, and it doesn't quite get through, and it's Carey there. Carey definitely doing the laundry as he took a high shot at the end of last night's game, and needed a few stitches to get going here today. McIntosh going down. Arm stays down on the cuffed zebra as he decides play should continue. That goes behind the goal line, comes out, and Amsden trying to chop at it, but Iceland finally hold on to it for long enough to get it to neutral. They dump and go for a change as Amsden collects behind Brooks. Amsden with his eyes up, looking for the longer pass. Deflected away for a moment, but it does go to neutral. They turn it over, and Iceland continues with the puck. That gets pushed forward. Amsden pushes it halfway up, and it's Devlin with the deep dump, trying to get that through, but it only goes as far as Iverson, and he plays it down, and Iceland come out, throw it forward, and a whole lot of dump and chase going on this afternoon, as that seems to be the strategy to start. That's pinned against the boards in the back. Two players for Iceland get a hold of it. Jamieson with a shot that goes left and off the corner, comes back in. Brooks knocks it away, and it'll be Sandoy with it for a moment. He sends it backwards. Hayward Jones with it, passes it up. Chalice looking forward. Long pass that's deflected by Atwell. No icing here as that is collected by New Zealand first. And, of course, that's Rusky Jones getting it to Atwell. Daig with it. Daig knocking over his player. And Iceland continuing with the puck as they try to get it around the kick plate in their defensive zone. They turn it over. Here's a chance. It goes in front. Atwell with a shot. And that goes off the side netting. First good chance, but it wasn't on target. Daig with it, passes it across ice, and they dump it back in for a moment. Rusky Jones putting it behind, and a forecheck as a couple of new players come out for New Zealand. McIntosh skates up to it. They dig it out, shot, and that's deflected and blocked away, and then another kick save. Another chance, chopping at it. McDonald with it. Another chance there for New Zealand, but that goes back out to neutral. They go for a change. Iceland survives that onslaught, and they decide to ice the puck after they get the change, so they'll be okay once that goes to the other side of the floor.
Heavy pressure on that Iverson in net. That quick shot, he was well placed, luckily, but scrambling in front of the net. The only thing, the Ice Blacks unable to get that a good sturdy shot. They were just sort of slapping at the puck as it rolled around in front many times.
And there at the dot, that lost by Leifson. It goes out to New Zealand. Shot, Carey can't get a hold of it. Looks like he got it just a little higher off the blade, goes up and into the netting for another stop in play.
Looking for the set play there of the face-off. We went back to Burns at the back there, and you saw Jacob Carey just float out to that spot right in the center of the circle for that slap shot, but a good stick from Iceland on defense broke up that play nicely.
Johansson and McIntosh to take this one. McIntosh wins it, goes out halfway, and that's brought around by Burns. Burns goes behind the cage, looks for a pass. He spins, stops, and goes backwards, goes back to McIntosh. Back to Burns. And now Iceland have it. They look to get out. Leeson with it. Long pass, but off target. He missed Runnarsson, and that's going to go for icing as Carey is there first. And a bit of snow picked up between Burns and Leeson, and I think maybe there's a penalty here, guys.
We'll just see.
We'll see if they just were issued off the ice. No, it is going to be Callum Burns going off. We'll see what the infraction was here in just a minute. Maybe holding?
Looked like he grabbed the wrist for a hold there. I like the intensity from New Zealand on the forecheck. They've won the battle of the dump and chase at the moment. You saw both teams trying to get it done early and win those battles down low. But so far New Zealand with a couple of good shifts on offense after winning battles when they dumped the puck in.
So a power play for Iceland as they look for the face-off in their offensive zone. They win that one, bring it back to the point. Long shot and a goal. That is a Excellent cross-ice pass going to Runnerson, and he beats Brooks as it goes across to the right side. 1-0 the score for Iceland.
That one-timer right on target. That's exactly what was attempted by the Ice Blacks moments before with Keary from Burns, but I guess I was going to say we will be able to test the New Zealand penalty kill, but that's not that.
Didn't get a lot of chance.
Not a chance.
You're right. It was the exact same play that New Zealand tried on the play. Difference being New Zealand didn't have that fifth defender to push out towards that player and make the intercept with the stick.
Good point, Matt.
Overloaded 4 on that side. So we get going again. 1-0 the score. 1 shot, 1 goal for Iceland. And New Zealand a little bit behind here as they've got to figure things out quickly to not let this one get away from them. Audis digging away at it, goes to the other side of the ice. Iceland have it. That shot goes aside. That was Helgeson. And this one goes out to Paulson. Paulson doesn't get it through. Turns back by, that's Regan there digging away at it. And it'll be Regan with control of the puck. He loses an edge, turned over to Iceland for a moment. That goes high shot,
Scores.
And a goal. That is Sverrisson, Hilmar Sverrisson with a long shot, and Brooks caught by surprise. It hits the twine and makes it 2-0 Iceland very quickly.
Started out with Regan having a little bit of a whoopsie, losing that puck, and then ends up almost on the blue line, but one-timer in again.
Yeah,
a bullet of a shot.
Puck was down low, and New Zealand did have numbers there. I think it was trying to pick up the number for Iceland, but just making a nuisance of himself and just getting that stick and pucking away from the New Zealanders just as they tried to make a play out of the zone.
Creating clutter, yes.
Johansson wins that one for Iceland as they get started 2-0. And New Zealand chasing this one down. Daig with it. He leaves it for Eden. And that goes back out to Iceland as they hold that in. That was Johannesson, not to be confused with Johansson. And that goes out of play into the bench. And we'll have a replay on the goal.
There it is, yeah. Just that one player making a nuisance of himself in amongst all the New Zealand defenders. They just couldn't corral the puck to break it out quickly. And quick shot, nice hard
very
shot.
Quick, beautiful quick shot.
New Zealand have got to pick themselves up here and get back on track.
Lots of hockey ahead of us.
Iceland win another face-off that gets to the point, but it gets cleared out by New Zealand. Eden has it. He's coming up the right side, kind of cutting inward. Takes a long shot that's deflected early off of, and a late hit there. That was Helgeson coming off his skates very easily. And that deflection goes up. We'll see if there's any discipline handed out here. And it doesn't look like it. Just a lot of frustration early as Eden puts that puck into the netting.
Yeah, just a shove him behind the net, and Iceland player went down fairly easily. Probably wasn't expecting a bit of a shoulder or elbow on the back there as the player had been called dead.
Carvelson and McIntosh to take this one. Just got to get Arison on his spot. They do. They drop the puck here, and that goes back out to Daigle. High shot. That gets deflected away. And it stays at the half boards, but double teamed over on the side. Arison trying to get that puck away for Iceland, among others. Eden jumps in there and tries to dig it out himself. That's still not moving, and it goes as far as the point, but stays in onside. And that's Carey with a quick move. He's also got 2 players on him. And as that stays in, Freer doing a good job holding that in the zone for the moment. And New Zealand not letting that puck out. Goes just behind the cage. Daigle sending it low. And now Iceland have it for a moment. Goes as far as the blue line. Daigle keeps it in. Sends it back towards 3 players. And he gets it back, but they have to reset. Daigle dumps. Rims it around. Goes as far as Iverson, but played by Iceland there. And they look for the long pass. That's turned over. Amston has to wait for onsides there as everybody was coming off the ice. Now Devlin on the forecheck. Iceland having a little bit of a hard time getting out of their back end, but Leifson skating through. Leifson, one of the scorers of the tournament, hits post here. That bounces back and gets to Brooks. Brooks jumps on it and gets a stop.
Leifson marching through a series of Ice Blacks and actually didn't quite get a good shot away, trying to put it up high as Brooks was going down to cover. Very, very dangerous situation.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that hit post and came backwards, but we'll have to take a closer look at that. The Iceland offense is clicking on all cylinders right now. That face-off won by New Zealand. That was an important one, and it was Burns back out there again. That's turned over, back and forth, and New Zealand playing that one just in time. Clinton not giving the shot a chance there, but he was definitely open for a minute. New Zealand gets away with one. That comes in for just a moment, and that's Hellickson who brings it back in. Shot, and that goes over the corner, hits the glass, comes back. Lachlan Freer getting it out of the zone, and it'll be Chalice sending it in, giving up possession to Johannesson. Johannesson forward to Bjorgvinsson. Bjorgvinsson with the backhander, and it's New Zealand again with it. He sends it off the glass, does the birthday boy, Marcus McDonald, and he gets the puck again at neutral. Chooses not to pass. Third player comes in on him and then takes it away, and it's Iceland with the puck low. Callum Burns with it now as he tries to exit the zone. They will. Atwell's got it. Atwell gets it up to McDonald. No, he doesn't. That's intercepted on the way in. Atwell getting to the puck. And a bit of a back and forth here as the middle third of the ice is very clogged up at the moment. Eden has it now. He sends it deep, but that's only as far as the glove of Mojacek. That's it. Mojacek. We'll get there in the end, and that puck comes out of the zone. Going the distance, Sandoy getting there, but that gets taken away from him. A good chance for Iceland as it comes out to the slot, but nobody home for that. That's deflected up, and Jacob Carey not able to get to the puck in time, icing the call.
New Zealand just struggling a little bit through the neutral zone. The passes out through the middle getting picked off by Iceland, or they're just getting stood up a little bit there in the neutral zone. So a little bit of a work on from them as they come out of their own zone.
I'm seeing that New Zealand has to do a quick release. They're hanging on to it for a little bit too long, and Iceland's on them like, you know.
Blondal losing this face-off for Iceland this time, but they retain possession. That goes around the back. Skulison with it, long shot, and a goal! Completely through traffic, goes over Eden, around the corner, bends around, up and down, and then gets behind Brooks. 3-0 the score, Iceland up early.
A little bit of Matrix almost happening there, the way the puck traveled through the bodies. And Brooks just didn't have a chance to see it.
Yeah, Brooks is looking to the left here. You can see it on the replay. Right. And that puck didn't go anywhere near where the original lane was. That's a deflection, and not much you can do about that as a goaltender, but 3-0 the score.
Back foot for New Zealand at the moment.
Runnerson to take this one at center against Joe Orr. And Runnerson with it. Sent forward. And New Zealand have it. That's Daig with it behind the net. Daig looking to set up an offense here that really needs to get going to make this a game. Now, it should be said, it was 3-0 for Bulgaria before Georgia came back and won that one 8-7 in overtime. So there's a lot of hockey left to go here. We'll just have to see how that offense clicks. Iceland with it. And a good defensive effort there as the players knocked off the puck. And it'll be Freer coming up the left side. Freer throws it in, trying to chase it down behind the net. He does just that as he gets there first. Out to Orr. Orr sending it to Regan as he asks for it. Long shot in, that's deflected, doesn't get through. He skates it forward, looking for a pass player. And that's a good shot there, but a tough angle. And it comes through to the near half boards here as Orr collects it. Orr sending it back in. And that comes back out to center ice as Callum Burns throws it back in, and New Zealand go for a change. It'll be Iceland behind the cage of Iverson. It's Paulson looking to set up the offense here. Paulson sending it to Johannesson. Johannesson across the ice, and it is Sverrisson not able to hold on to it. Goes to Burns. Burns with a tough pass there as that dribbled off his stick. Chalice sending it forward, misses that connection to Devlin. Iceland turn it around for a moment. Devlin gets it back. He pops it up for just a little bit there, just chips it in, and doesn't go very far. comes back out just as quickly. Chalice has it. He's harassed. That's passed forward, and Iceland take over. It's Sverrisson with the puck. He passes it, gives it to Christiansen. Christiansen throwing it in after he crosses center ice. And that puck comes back out with Amsden for New Zealand. Amsden throwing it forward. Iceland collect it, come back in the zone, and they're back on offense. It's Mikhailsen with it for a moment. Out to the point. Low shot. That does not get through. Back out to neutral. And the defense holds. Harrison setting up and passes it forward. Goes up to Sigurdsson. Back out to Harrison and turned over. McIntosh out to Eden, but Eden can't control it. Paulson chucking it in again. And we've reached that point of don't make any mistakes again, guys.
Wow, with New Zealand down by 3, they're just struggling to connect the passes, with Iceland hitting the tape on their passes and lucky passes bouncing off to them, falling at their feet.
And Kerry gets that one to Eden. Eden 1-on-2 as he brings it in up the right side, throws it around, readjusts his helmet. That's passed away. Daig's got it. He brings it up the left side, all on his own, 1-on-4, 1-on-5. He skates towards the cage, looks for a pass, can't get anything to it. McDonald chases it in the corner. It's Iceland behind the net. Paulson with it. Paulson putting it forward, goes past all of his players and goes to Rusky Jones from Daigle. Blondal comes in, but he was offsides. Either he or it was Johansson that was in early, and they get a stop in play.
What has to happen also is Brooks is going to have to have some shots on him, build his confidence up. He's had 7 shots, 3 goals. That's got to be rough on him. You know, it's not his fault, but he's the final guy, isn't he?
Yeah, that's it. Always comes down to goaltending in that sense, and Atwell takes this one. He does not get that puck. Leifson wins the faceoff, and Iceland come out. Helgeson with it for a moment, passes that to Hlinson. Hlinson with it. He skates around the backside, trying to pass that out. Johannesson passes it along the blue line. Does it stay in? Yes, it does. It stays onside. That's sent into the corner deep. And they pull away with Runarsson and that top line, trying to get a hold of that puck to keep it in. Back to Johansson, shot. And Helgeson's shot goes into the corner, deflected away. And there's a stop in play here. I don't know if Leifson and Daigle with some discussion here. And I think it's Daig going off for a penalty here, guys.
Yeah, check this replay here. Might have been a bit on the numbers there from Daig, just as the Iceland player was hitting the boards.
Just before that, he had that puck hit him from the shot in front, and I think he was possibly smarting from that as well. A little bit agitated.
I'm not sure if you got a number on that. I see Helgeson and the Iceland player still down.
Yeah, he hasn't really got up here either.
You guys get a number for me?
Tough to see from the angle we've got.
Didn't see that one there, but that's the stop in play. The shot into the board there. Just need a moment, and there's some discussion at the table, of course. They're just trying to find out and figure out the administrative side. And here we go, the players coming off the ice gingerly.
Being up by 3 points, does Iceland change? Do they now control the narrative?
So that was Hjalmarsson, Baltasar Hjalmarsson. And forgive me if I get that one a little bit off, but he's going to head to the bench for a moment. And we'll see what comes up on the board. I'm not sure, but is that a 5?
That's a 5.
Yeah, that's a major penalty, it looks like, guys. So if I've got that right, just want to make sure that it's correct. But it is, it's a penalty nonetheless. We'll start with a 5-on-4 and call the game here. And it's Arison pushing it in the corner. He gets it back, goes up to Sverrisson. He has it at the point, recollects it. And Arison back to Sverrisson, and it goes out to neutral, and Iceland need to reset.
This is a big penalty kill for New Zealand here. They're already down by 3. If they give up another one here, and a major that doesn't stop either, they are on the penalty kill for 5 minutes, regardless of a goal.
Iceland skate that in. It's Blondal bringing it in the zone. That stays in. Once again, along the blue line, he manages to keep it in. Paulson getting it back. He's high on the blue line, then moving it around. A very high box defensively, and New Zealand doing a good job of harassing Iceland here. But this, as Matt said here, it's a long power play, so they need to be a bit conservative with their energy here, and they are. As Iceland rotates it around, a shot, and that's going to go back out. And the length of the ice, that was a good chance there by Blondal again. That's brought back in by Runnerson. Leaves at Queenson. Runnerson goes out to Paulson. And on the other side is Leifson, one of the assist leaders in this tournament. Takes a shot, and he hits the bottle. Goal for Iceland, and they make it 4-0 as Iceland are just laying it on to New Zealand tonight.
Very clinical inside in that offensive zone. Beautiful passing and very, very snappy shots.
Yeah, they're moving it around really nicely. And boxing out as well there too to create the space for the shooter. This is going to be a tough 3.5 minutes for New Zealand. Still on the penalty kill with the major penalty, down by 4. And they've got their backs against the wall here. This is a big mountain to climb, and it's only the first period.
Very, very quiet crowd at the moment.
Yeah.
Blondal loses that one. New Zealand throw it the length of the ice to kill some time. And McIntosh on the forecheck. Helgeson looking to get that out. He does, going halfway up, and now they gain the zone. Helgeson holding up, snowing the boards there, passing out to Aronson. Back to Helgeson. Helgeson down deep, gets it back, almost loses the puck. Aronson again, out to Sverrisson. Aronson. Sverrisson, shot, that doesn't get through, hits McIntosh. Does he get to the puck first? He does for a moment, and that's Sandoy with it. Sandoy flipping it up, but it only goes as far as Sverrisson. Iceland hold it in the offensive zone. Aronson with it now. Back to Sverrisson. He misses the one-timer, and that goes into the corner. It's Bjorkvidsen collecting it, giving it up. Blondal with a chance, and that gets knocked the length of the ice as New Zealand needed a change, and they get it.
Just really nice power play here from Iceland. They are moving the puck, and the passes are crisp. They've missed on a couple of one-time opportunities, but they've got lots of space, and they're just moving the puck so nicely that everyone's got time.
And some good work there from Ian Audis as he's going to waste a lot more. That goes off Leifson's stick, and that'll go high stick off as Paulson played it, and we'll get a face-off shortly.
Oh, beautiful shot there, up over the shoulder of Brooks. He would have had a good look at this one, but it's just well placed, and a reaction save just wasn't quick enough from Brooks.
Joe Orr to take this face-off for New Zealand. He wins it, and they keep it in the zone as Leifson's trying to dig it away from Orr. He does. He gets it away, and it's Iceland setting up for their offense. We get it out of the zone here and go through neutral. And they continue skating all the way into the corner. It's Leifson that was upended. It comes right back out. Audis goes off. Orr goes off. Not the normal PK for New Zealand in that case, but they, with a 5-minute major, they have to. And Runnerson walking through, takes a shot. No, it's knocked away. Never gets it off. Runnerson stays with the puck. Goes to Paulson. Out to the side. Mojacek gave it up. Goes back to Paulson. Iceland going for a change here while they just carefully skate around. Helgeson holding on to it. They go for another change.
Strategic, very
strategic. Very patient. And New Zealand finally jumping in there. That's Amston trying to get the puck away. He doesn't do it. And now Iceland's had an entire line change while they hold up here. With under a minute to go in the power play, that puck goes over to Bjorgvinsson. Over to Blondal. Blondal leaves it behind for Arison. Arison walks in, takes a shot, doesn't get through. Arison chasing it down at the half boards. New Zealand trying to get to that puck. They only leave 3 on the side there. And Sverrisson with another slap shot as he tries to get that one in, but it's knocked to the corner and blocked aside.
30 seconds left, just under 30 seconds left in this.
And it's Sverrisson that's going to track this down. A couple of the Iceland players looking around trying to get a trip there. And instead, that's going to go the length of the ice. Hayward Jones there first, icing on Iceland. Been waiting to say that one, actually.
You've been waiting for that. That's a good clear. It's an unfortunate clear for Iceland there. It was their own player that put it out of the zone right at the end there. And face-off now down their end zone with only 15 seconds left on the power play. It should be enough for New Zealand to get through this one with only the 1 goal against.
McIntosh leaves it behind for a shot from Mitchell Freer. And boy, that was the biggest bomb we've seen from New Zealand so far. Iverson up for the task. He did look around here on this shot. Wasn't sure, but he did have it and got the stop.
Yeah, well, Mitchell Freer can certainly lay down a slap shot, can't he?
Yeah, he's got a bullet.
And we'll redo that face-off. It'll be Johannesson losing that one to McIntosh, but Iceland with the puck. They move in 2-on-3. Sigurdsson going around, one-handing it, turns around, gives it back to Kojicek. Kojicek with a long shot, and Brooks takes it in the chest protector, gloves it, and gets a stop. Penalty over right now, and a little extra chirping from Chalice and Hjalmarsson. Little extras there.
You wouldn't think that Iceland needs to engage in this. They've got the throttle. They're controlling the game, and it's Chalice just giving them a few words, I think.
Face-off coming in the offensive zone for Iceland. Johansson to take this one, and they drop the puck. He wins it. But New Zealand get that puck out to neutral. And it'll be Johannesson. Back to Sigurdsson. Sigurdsson getting it in the zone. But again, that's turned back by New Zealand. And a little speed here. Dagan, he's going to take a shot. That's deflected into the corner. Never got it through Skullisson. And that goes back out to neutral with a 2-on-2 developing if Iceland can hurry. Takes the shot. And that goes into the corner with a glove save, but he didn't hold on to it, did Brooks. Skullisson trying to keep it in, can't do it. And New Zealand have it deep in their defensive zone as it'll be Sandoy holding on to it and looking to pass it out. Instead, he skates it out. Everybody on the left side there for Iceland, and it's going to be Day going back and getting an icing call as that long pass didn't connect for Iceland.
That's interesting, Remy Sandoy having options to dish it out, but he chose to skate with it and get tangled up with Iceland, a couple Iceland players.
Yeah, New Zealand's decision-making in this period hasn't been as good as they would like. I'm sure they'll talk about that when the time comes in the period break. But Iceland's decision-making has been excellent thus far, and that's why they're up 4-0.
Or wins that face-off. Blocker save there as it goes into the corner from Iverson. Or continues with it for a moment. Then it's Regan getting the puck for a moment. That's passed inward. Iceland pick it up and send it out. Simon trying to hold on to it. Or playing his mark, and I believe that's Steingrimsson. We'll check on that. No, it's not. That's Johansson. They play into the corner again. Simon trying to dig it away. Going back out to the point. Helgeson with it. Sends it around the boards. Audis picks it up. Audis flipping it only as far as the blue line, but it's turned around. And Orr has it. 1-on-4. He's got a second player. Audis outside. Tries a slow shot trying to get some sort of a rebound, but sent back out. And it pinballs around at the far dot for a moment. New Zealand have it at neutral. Carey with it. He passes it past Audis as Audis took a jump on it. And now it's Amston with the puck. He sends it back to Burns. And that stays in the offensive zone for Iceland. They walk it in, take a shot, and that is a bounce and a hold for Brooks as they hold on to that puck and get a stop in play.
Well, with 30 seconds left in this first period, New Zealand down by 4-0 with face-off in the defensive zone. They've got to escape here. They've got to get it clear, because if they give up possession here, we know Iceland are good enough to put another one away, and that would be an absolute killer in this this final minute of period one.
Just looking cold, Iceland, or the Ice Blacks. We'll see how we go.
And that's Mitchell Freer with the puck behind after they win the face-off. New Zealand trying to dig it out and get back out to neutral. That's carried. He's picked up with 3 other Iceland players as they converge on him, forcing somebody else from New Zealand to beat them coming out of the zone. They do just enough. Goes out to Eden, but he can't play it. And it'll be Sigurdsson throwing it back in. Daigle gets there first. But it's only as far as the point. Then it does go out. And I'm not sure if they're going to stop play for what was an offside. I think they're going to call this first period over. So first period action ending with Iceland up 4-0 over New Zealand.
Yeah, pretty dominant display there by Iceland. They controlled their play just how they would want to do it. Their zone entries are clean. When they had possession, they moved it around with good, crisp, clean passing. And New Zealand had no answer, really.
They did have no answer at all. The problem really is accuracy and conversion of high-quality shots. The movement, especially cross ice, really gave Brooks some problems. It would give any goaltender problems. I'm not trying to pick on Brooks in any way here, but the movement and the traffic in the lanes, both very high quality, and each and every shot, that was a very big deal to get all of that traffic or movement in front of him to give you a wider shot, and that makes it all that much easier for the person taking the shot to have a wider target. And they buried it 4 times for them in the first period.
I use the word clinical. Iceland's delivery, their cycling in that deep in that New Zealand zone their passing was spectacular. The Ice Blacks, on the other hand, a few missed passes, nerves maybe. Like when you get down a bit, you kind of more anxious perhaps, but they just can't quite click. And I'm sure, like you said, the words will be said in the dressing room. What needs to happen in order for the Ice Blacks to be a contender in the next period.
Yeah, they've got to play their own game. At the start of this period, we saw New Zealand 5-on-5. They were competitive. They had a couple of good shifts. They got the forward check going, and they created chances in front of the net. They just got to find their rhythm again, and potentially 1-2 goals, and then you're right back in it. We know that a 2-goal lead, a 3-goal lead can be eroded very quickly in this tournament.
Yeah, so a couple of points on that. First of all, you can't give up major penalties. That's just a no-no.
That's a given.
And that is what happened there. It was Justin Daigle. Last night's game-winning goal scorer was the one that sat for 5 minutes. But as noted, Kristjansson, it was Anyar Kristjansson, actually exited over on that side, and he was the one that was put into the boards there. So he may not return right away. We'll manage that.
Number 15, wasn't it?
16
16.
was. So we'll see. Maybe that's related. Maybe it's not. We'll see. But an interesting development, anyways. But still, it's a pretty big lead for Iceland.
That penalty also, although it is first period, and although they went off in for a bit of a rest, 5 minutes with your penalty kill, that's draining, especially against the very, very organized Iceland team.
They were chasing them a lot on that major penalty. Anyway, folks, we're going to take a wee break here. Iceland up 4-0 against the home nation New Zealand. We'll see you back in about 10 minutes for period 2. No mai, hoki mai. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for joining us here at the Dunedin Ice Stadium. It's the final night. It's the big game. It's the silver medal match. New Zealand up against Iceland. Currently, Iceland with a big lead, 4-0 after one period. My name's Matt Whiffen. I'm here with Matt Chavez and Dave Dubnick, bringing you all the action. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from that first period. Very heavily in favour of Iceland, obviously.
They were indeed. So we'll take a look here. This was an early shot, one of the better ones for New Zealand. And that was kicked away. That was Marcus McDonald with a chance. And that was swept away by Iceland. And you'll see this is really, if there's anything that kind of encapsulates the offense and defense of where Iceland are, you can see. I mean, I can draw like they're all right here,
yes,
right?
Five blue jerseys.
They're going to surround the puck. And in that case, when you have Marcus McDonald out there, you've got 1, 2 up high, kind of waiting. That's where they should be pretty much. But when this continues on, that's how it's going to get turned back around for Iceland immediately. And that was pretty emblematic of this period. Now this will be the first goal here for Iceland, and we'll see that as that comes around on the other side of this. But this started the rally for Iceland. So once again, what I was saying earlier, if you've got a box around all your defenders on one side of the goal, right? So
yeah, this is right off the face-off too.
Yep. So when we play this, you're going to see Iceland stretching and making Brooks come way out to the other side. He just can't get around it. Here's the second goal for Iceland, and that's just a turnover and a big shot.
It's just a rocket.
And it takes the bottle that quickly. You just have to be ready for these. And Brooks can't see it because, and let's see if I can find it here. Right there.
That was a good battle down low. That Iceland won.
Yeah.
It got a couple of good sticks, poked the puck away from the New Zealand players.
And it's Simon that kind of gives the accidental screen, and he just doesn't see it, does Brooks. So that's 2-0. High shot. And this was the one that had just...
It had eyes.
Yeah, it had eyes.
Yeah,
it absolutely had eyes.
It had tracking on it. It had wings.
So you can actually see the puck right here as that tracks in. Another one where Brooks is just, you've got traffic
he's looking
in
at
front
the
of him.
backside of two players, a wall in front of him, like the football wall for a penalty shot. They're just right in front of them there.
And as long as Iceland continue to get players low like this is exactly what ends up happening. And it goes behind them. This will be the 5-minute major coming up next. This is important here. So this was another turning point in the game. It's already 3-0, and you've got what ends up being a hit into the board here. And we're just going to play it back. And this is what ended up being a 5-minute major. Didn't get to see too much of it there. One more shot at that. Let's see if that's zoomed in just a little bit. But this is a big part of this game. That ended up being called a 5-minute major against Justin Daig, and he goes off. And that was a pretty big moment as that caused the fourth goal.
Yeah, they scored on the 5-minute major.
And the really tough part about all of that is that New Zealand's got to be out there with 4 players defending for a long stretch of the first period. They're not going to get much offense during that period of time. They can't really turn the game around. They have to kind of be on the back foot and be careful. They still gave up 1, but they didn't give up multiple goals on the major penalty, so that's a small consideration there. But nonetheless, Iceland ran that period. They owned that 20 minutes, and that's why Iceland are up with just 10 shots on goal. They're up 4-0.
Yeah. New Zealand need an injection of speed. They need an injection of impact players just making their presence felt, with whether it be a quick play up ice, a couple of snappy passes, or maybe a big hit down low in front of this big sellout crowd to get everyone cheering and get the blood pumping, Dave.
Yeah, change of momentum is what they need.
Yeah.
And that, luckily, the period ended at a very good time. Coach Kempfrier will have had words, maybe changing a few things. We might see a few lineup change in the lineup. in the lines. We'll see. And Iceland just needs to keep doing what they're doing.
And it will be the same starting 5 for New Zealand out on the ice with Carey, McIntosh, Eden, Daigle, and Freer. And Runnerson out there for Iceland. He gets the puck first, off to Skulason. And we're underway with Iceland with the puck. Second period action here at the Dunedin Ice Stadium. And that was Runnerson with a chance there as that's deflected up and out of play for a quick chance early for Iceland and a stop.
Yeah, starting the...
McIntosh wins that one though, but they call it back. A couple of questions as to why. So there's some interesting parts about being a home and away team on face-offs. Those of you that would understand the who puts their stick down first, a couple of things. New Zealand are the away team tonight, and it doesn't matter because it's one anyways. McIntosh gets it back, but Leifson steals it, and Leifson holds on to it as he goes around the cage of Brooks, left behind, and now New Zealand have it and take it out. Freer with it. Mitchell Freer getting it up to Carey, but it's taken away. Leifson has it. Leifson flips it backwards, and there's a penalty coming up, a tripping on, I'm not sure of the number, but it was on New Zealand, and I believe it was Mitchell Freer. Yes, it is. Mitchell Freer, 2 minutes for tripping on that play with Leifson.
There it is. It's got the stick up in the knees there.
It was a soft fall. Like, I'm making excuses, but...
Well, it's a textbook trip. I mean,
yeah.
you can't not call that, and that's exactly what happened there. So Iceland going on the power play. Eriksson and Sverrisson, and now Helgeson with it on the half board. Back to Eriksson. Eriksson skating at the blue line, gives it back to Helgeson. Gets it back, holds it high. Eriksson pass cross ice. That was a tough shot there for the one-timer. It was reminiscent of the first chance they had. That's turned over and it goes in the high slot. Kept in by Sverrisson. Down low for Blondal. Blondal sending it out of the zone, and
Brooks
it goes
finally
back to neutral.
clears it.
Yeah, I think Brooks, with a big stick there. The power play looks so good for Iceland.
Eriksson with it. He leaves it behind. Gives it to Leifson. Leifson takes it in. Leifson with it. Leifson holds up. And the cycle begins. Off to Paulson. Paulson has it. Paulson holding. Paulson deciding what to do with it. And a high sticking coming up here. Devlin on Leifson.
Both of them not taking it. The referee says, I'm not taking any nonsense.
They're both going. Let's see if we have that one again. That'll be an interesting pugil match.
Yeah, they were just having a wee boxing match in the middle of the ice there. Paulson just sort of, I want the space. And Devlin's like, no, I want the space.
Yeah. Regardless, they're both off.
Gentlemen, there's lots of room on that ice for both of you.
You can all share. It's a big rink. It's an Olympic-sized rink.
And an Olympic-sized rink, if you're in North America, that means it's 200 by 100 feet, not 85 on the width. So it is a little wider. There's lots of room out here, and it'll still be 5-on-4. Leifson with it, and he wins it for a moment. Iceland have it. Back to Leifson. He stays at the point. Paulson, back to Leifson. Long shot, that's deflected twice, never gets in on Brooks. Goes into the corner, and played away by Hayward Jones for a moment, and then flipped out. And it's going a long ways. Audis gets it all the way to Iverson. And some good forechecking there by Lachlan Freer. But it's Leifson coming up the left side. He's coming through with some speed. Leifson gains the zone, continues skating, goes towards the goal line, tries to wrap it around, and it was Brooks caught out of position. He gets lucky there, and Iceland not able to bury that on the power play. It's about to end. They've got about 10 seconds left. Eriksson with it. Eriksson holding. Eriksson in the half board looking for a crossing pass. He almost gets it there to Stefansson, and that's going to go out to neutral with the power play expiring. Freer goes off the ice, and it'll be Eden coming back on out, but it's Blondal with the puck at the moment. Iceland looking to come back in on offense. They do. Jacob Carey getting in the way there. He does a good job, but it doesn't come out of the zone. Goes into the corner. Hayward Jones with it now. He spins it back. Goes over to Stefansson. And Jacob Carey with it. He takes a heavy hit there by Skulason.
That was
and
a big
Harrison
shot.
with it behind the net. And that is back Carlson and Skulason. Skulason with a good hip check there. Daigle taking it in for New Zealand, taking a shot. That's kicked aside. Freer with it. Behind to McIntosh. Otis chopping away at it. And there's going to be a penalty. That's interference on Iceland. I'm not sure the number, but I want to say it's Skulason that will be going off for 2 minutes. And it is indeed Skulason for upending Colin McIntosh in the corner there.
Yeah, just stepped into McIntosh as he was trying to follow the puck. He had a big shift in the hits there, Skulason. He put Carey into the boards on a heavy hit. Carey left unhappy with that shift. He slammed his stick into the glass on his way off the ice, which is pretty much how probably the whole New Zealand team is feeling at the moment. Down 4-0 here at the moment.
And with New Zealand on the power play, they get the puck. Daigle with it out high. He leaves it for Carey. Carey holds it halfway, looking across the ice here. He passes it behind the net instead, goes back to Carey, flipping it back to Otis, back to Carey. Daigle with it now at the blue line. He's passed it across. Long chance there as McIntosh tries to take a high angle shot. Carey with it on the goal line, looking to pass it in front of the slot, and a chance there. And it'll be Iverson getting it at the chest protector, holding it on with the glove, and stopping play.
This one took a funny bounce there, that one.
Off a shoe, maybe.
Yeah. One of the Iceland players put it back on his own player, sort of. Got to have your head on the swivel if you're a goalie, don't you?
And it'll be Bjorkvason taking that against McIntosh. He wins that one, McIntosh does, but it's kicked away by an Iceland player. It was, in fact, Michelson, and he sends it down into the Zamboni corner. And that's going to end the penalty as Mitchell Freer knocked Bjorkvason into the corner. Sorry, you're right. It's McIntosh that looks like he'll be going here.
Yeah, as the feet got tied up or the stick got in there, as Michelson made a quick turn in their corner. You know, they got the clear, they dumped the puck in, and then they won the race back to the puck in New Zealand's own zone. So New Zealand guilty of just not pushing hard enough to win the puck battles and get possession of the puck. And now they find themselves in a 4-on-4 situation, and then pretty soon they'll be on the penalty kill again.
4-on-4 for 81 seconds as New Zealand gets the puck and pass it up ice. Atwell with some room, but he's got 3 players on him, but it goes deep. He holds on to it, pulls it back, and he is just beaten at the board there by 2 Iceland players as they try to get the puck away, and they do. Goes over to Leifson on that right side. He passes it, and just a walk-in shot there by Christiansen. And Christiansen and Cleaston doing their best to try to get in on Brooks, but Brooks with a good save.
But the timing of the passing from Iceland has been really good. They're skating onto these passes, which means they've got speed going through the zones. Not when they're just coming out of their own zone, but through the neutral and then entering the zone too. They've got speed and it's catching the
You're not having to wait for that puck, for sure.
New Zealanders are flat-footed a lot of the time.
Rusky Jones to take this when he wins it, gets to Daigle, and we continue 4-on-4 for another 50 seconds. And we'll see if the ice opens up here. Marcus McDonald with it as he gains the zone. He's going to take a shot. That's blocked to the right side of Iverson. And New Zealand still have it out to Daig. Daig skating forward, goes into the corner, gets it back to McDonald. No pressure on him. What's he do? He passes it to Freer. Freer can't hold it on the tape. Goes behind to Rusky Jones and turned over to Iceland. They bring it out of the zone. Hjalmarsson with it for a moment. Then it's turned back around. Marcus McDonald again. He can't get it in the zone right away. And now he has. And a collision at the blue line. We play on. And it'll be Helgeson with the puck. He is patient with it. Leaves it for Paulson.
Should be a power play now for Iceland.
And there it is with Runnerson. trying to get deep into the zone. Carey knocking it halfway out. Stick dropped for a moment. And a good hit there by McDonald, and that puck goes back out as we continue on what is 20 seconds left of power play for Iceland. They try to get something going here quickly. Leifson with a long pass. It goes up to Signarsson, and that puck gets knocked away. But just as far as the blue line. Paulson with it. Over to Leifson. Behind and a shot. Goes back to Leifson. Penalty is expired now, 5-on-5 as McIntosh comes back out. He gets the puck immediately, and they're going to have a 2-on-2. Eden with it up the right side. Eden holds on to it, takes a shot, glove save, knocked down, rebound, but it's controlled by New Zealand for a moment. It goes out to the corner. McIntosh with it. He holds on to it, passes it to Burns at the point. Burns moves it all the way across the ice. Goes to Amston, a heavy shot, but it's not on target. Hits the board, comes out to the half boards. Callum Burns with it. Now Carey. Carey sends it in halfway. It's deflected away, and now there's some movement for Iceland as they gain the zone. Thiessen with it. He's come in, and he is waiting for a line change here, but he does a good job holding the puck. Now it's turned over. Amston has it. Amston looking to get that out. Goes to Carey, center ice. Carey comes in, passes it to Burns, but it's intercepted by Blondal, and Iceland have it again. That is Christiansen, and he's moving it out, and that's going to be an intentional offsides by New Zealand, so that'll move on to the other side by Chalice.
Yeah, I don't think Chalice knew he was offside. I didn't hear the referees or the linesmen yelling it from up here, so maybe Chalice just didn't hear it.
Yeah, normally you hear like a no, or whatever back off.
Very loud.
Didn't hear it there, yeah. Christiansen with a long shot, that's off target. Brooks never saw it, hits the board heavily, comes back around by Stefansson, and that's left aside for Bjorgvinsson. Bjorgvinsson holding on to it. Bjorgvinsson sending it low again. That goes out to Blondal in front, and Brooks jumps on it. Penalty coming up. We'll see what this one is. Didn't see it exactly, but somebody's going off the ice, and I think it's Iceland.
Yeah, slash there.
Let's have a look.
Slash on Brooks. There was
after the whistle.
This gentleman right here, who's heading off. Number 13.
Yeah, it's going to be Blondal.
So a rare penalty for New Zealand. They've had to kill off 7.5 minutes of power play time from Iceland so far in the game, which we've only had 27.5 minutes. So yeah, a good chunk of that on the penalty kill for New Zealand. This is a good opportunity on the power play, and they really need to score here. They really do need to score.
McIntosh with a face-off. That gets deflected, and Diggs going to have to come all the way back. Brooks looks at it, leaves it for Daig. Daig leaving it behind. Audis to Carey, and Carey coming up the right side with some speed. He's going to cut in the middle, leaves a pass out to McIntosh, goes to Daigle. He wasn't expecting it. He sends it low into the corner to Audis. Audis taken out of the play there, and he gets it back, gets up on his feet again. In front, Eden with a shot. That's kicked aside, and that's going to go, no, it's going to stay in the zone. Daig with a good save there, and he holds on to it as the power play continues for New Zealand. McIntosh sends it low. Audis in front, and then that one's going to go the length of the ice. It'll be Daig to go back to pick it up. Iceland to get a change, and so does New Zealand.
Great shot by, I believe it was Eden, point blank.
And that pass goes up halfway and turned over to Iceland. And that comes back in the zone for just a moment. Atwell with it over to McIntosh. Freer asking for it, but Freer not getting it. McIntosh turns backwards, and the forecheck being applied by Mikkelsen. Mikkelsen backs off. And the offense slow to start here. They've given up another 30 seconds. Amston with it, takes the shot. Amston's shot knocked away. Chalice gives it away over to Amston now. Amston fans on it. Amston gets it back to Chalice. Over to the far side. And it's Burns trying to send it around to Atwell. Atwell gets a hold of the puck in the corner. Out to the point. Chalice with it again. He gives it to Amston. Amston walking sideways. Low shot, not on target. And New Zealand scramble to keep it in the zone with 5 seconds to go on the power play. That goes out to Amston at the point. He's going to take a shot. High shot. Oh, that was a ringer there. It was right on the pipe, and I think it was gloved down, and a stick coming out, and it was Iverson with the important save as the power play expires.
I think there's another penalty here as well.
Yeah, let's see.
It's going to be on New Zealand.
Freer, Lockley Freer.
Yeah,
it's going off.
The interference right there, just the shove in front of there. I normally let a lot of that go. A lot of sort of pushing and shoving in front of there, but Freer just a little bit too pushy for the referee's liking.
Well, if anything's been a difficulty for New Zealand this entire tournament, it's been special teams. We just go from a power play back to a penalty kill. And it's Kleinson with it. He passes it. Another one-timer opportunity, but they can't pull a trigger on it. Christensen letting that one go. Paulson giving it up. Runnerson with it. Down behind the net. They pass it in front of the slot, and it's knocked away. Eden with a quick turnaround, and that goes the length of the ice for Paulson as Iceland look to set up their offense. And New Zealand back on the defensive here. 5-on-4 now as Iceland has their player come out. Leifson passes it low, goes in front, and that's kicked away. Simon as far as Leifson halfway, and Arison fake shot, turns it, passes, that comes right back out to Runnerson, goes back to Leifson. Kleinson in front, and then it's Leifson sending it around to Runnerson. Runnerson sitting on the blue line. Long shot, glove save, and Brooks holds everything up.
Big scramble there in front of the net.
Yeah, Iceland tried the wrap around from behind as well. And for a second I thought it might have gone in, but it just popped in behind the net.
I think Iceland were actually a little bit tired on that, trying to get a line change there, just getting that puck in the glove and going again. Blondal to take this one at the dot against Carey. I think that's Carey's first face-off tonight, not sure. It goes around to Christiansen to Aronson. Aronson. Helgeson, back to Aronson. They skate together. Carey coming out defensively. Aronson at the top. Long shot, that's deflected into the corner. Don't think it got to Brooks. And it's Helgeson passing it down. Around and behind the goal. Shot, that's deflected away. Bjorgensen knocked away. Daigle with the heavy pressure behind the net. And a one-timer opportunity once again by Helgeson. Couldn't get that one lined up. And he whiffs on it. That goes out to neutral, and Aronson has to reset for Iceland. And we go inside again. Helgeson gains the zone, comes in halfway, skates backwards, tries to get to Blondal, but it's knocked away. It's Christiansen trying to get that behind the net. He's got it for a moment. It's kicked in front, and it goes back behind the net again. We continue in front, and it is the puck jumping out. Goes out to neutral, and New Zealand doing a good job of killing that, and we are back to 5-on-5 as that puck travels most of the way to the ice. It's not an icing here. Daigle gets there first. They continue as they look for help as it's pinned into the corner. It goes around and behind. A couple of players falling over, and it'll be a hand pass coming out to neutral.
Well, New Zealand got the penalty kill under their belt there, which they will be happy about. But Iceland again, looking really good on the power play. They just had a couple of shots, the one-timers that just didn't click. They had got a couple of those away. It could have been dangerous for New Zealand.
Looking good on the power play, but they've had a lot of opportunity to practice. New Zealand has had a really rough time.
Yeah.
That puck is won by Iceland, but turned into the zone. Callum Burns has it. He's surveying his options and goes for the long pass up to McIntosh. He can't play it. And we'll get the icing, and we'll come right back and have a defensive face-off in the New Zealand zone.
I'm wondering if that's these long, this element of urgency. It shouldn't be, but, we're down by 4. We got to start, get some points, and those long passes just aren't necessary. There's still lots of time in this game for New Zealand to claw their way back.
Well, they need to start clawing their way back as the time really is starting to run down a little bit. I mean, it's the middle of the second, but they've got to break Iverson at some point if they want to have any chance. Iceland doing a great job so far and just playing clinically.
Yeah, you think they want at least one this period.
Would help quite a bit. That's to Eden. Eden has it center ice. Skates through a few players, but gets it taken off him by Thiessen. Thiessen with a shot that doesn't go any further than Burns' chest. And he gets the puck back. He's turned around. Burns gets it now. He knocks it over to McIntosh. He holds the brakes and stops and gives it to Amston on the other side of the ice. Amston looking for that long pass yet again, but it's Eden not able to control it after it hits his stick. Comes right back in. Runarsson with a shot. That's high off the glass as it goes over the net. There's a bit of neck protection out behind the net. If you see it, that's a high shot over the crossbar. Funny bounce comes back, and we continue with it. Devlin trying to dig that out, and Burns. And it's Hjalmarsson trying to send it the other direction. And eventually it goes to Bjorgvinsson, and then played by New Zealand. And it goes behind again. Amston there first. Amston with it. Amston passing it. Doesn't get out of the zone, and it's sent back in, and Brooks gloves it, giving everybody a chance to make some changes.
New Zealand's passing need a little bit more crispness. That push up from Amston was quite light and was almost intercepted by Iceland.
And we get to the face-off again here. It is 5-on-5. Devlin to take this one, and Johansson getting the warning. He wins it anyways. Shot comes in. That's deflected high and actually clears the netting. And fan gets a souvenir on that one.
Don't see that very often. The nets go way up above the glass here, at least about 5 meters above the glass at the back there.
So it must have been a flippy flighty one. So that's good because you don't want anything dangerous coming up there. Devlin to take this one again. We redo it. And they drop it. Iceland win it. Shot. That goes off the left boards. Goes around Brooks. Helgeson chases it down. Then it's another wrist shot in. And they're going to have to chase that one as Paulson gets there first. Goes back in, and Hayward Jones has it. He skates it, flips it in, but there's nobody on the right side. And it'll be Helgeson passing that to the other side. Goes to Johansson. Johansson gains the zone. Johansson on the right side. Holds on to it. Stops. Looks for a pass in the middle. It goes flying upward. It stays in at the point. Low shot in. Deflected away. Simon's got it there first. Another chance, and Simon's got it again. Shins of steel as he keeps knocking him down. Simon on the zone. He takes a shot as he's 1-on-5. Does that stay in? No, it doesn't. Devlin's got to wait and evacuate the zone. They go for a change, and the puck given up to Iceland as they hold on to it and look for some offensive choices. Carry on the forecheck, but not chasing anybody yet. And McIntosh moving up as well. Moving 2 or 3 players up, and this is the danger. Bjorgensson with it for a moment. Blondal picks it up, and Iceland with some speed coming into the zone. They rotate it around. Christiansen with a long shot that never gets through as it hits his own player, Bjorgensson, as the shot came towards Brooks' net. That puck stays behind, goes into the corner. Stefansson with it. Daigle ends up with it on his stick. He leaves it behind. Freer clears it to McIntosh. McIntosh takes it out of the zone. Long pass across to Carey. Carey can't glove it down, but it goes into the offensive zone. Eden with it. Eden with a chance. Now McIntosh whiffs on it. 2 chances, but nothing dangerous there. Shot and Carey in a goal! Against the run of play, Carey buries one in the upper right past Iverson. 4-1 the score.
Well, it took the top line to break through finally for New Zealand up against Iverson. But, yeah, it definitely feels like it gets the run of play here, Dave.
Absolutely. To crack that, that goaltender. I mean, they've only had 10. That's their 10th shot on, or sorry, that's their 16th shot on net, 12th shot on net. My math. Being able to, against the run of play, bit of a scramble. They need to get more crisp passing in that deep zone. That was just lucky, I guess.
Or to win that one, and New Zealand have the puck again. 4-1 the score. They hold on to it, or to Burns. He sends it up to Regan. Regan and Skulason. Skulason turns it around but doesn't get it very far, and Regan dumps for the chase, and it'll be Audis trying to get behind the net. He gets there and stops his opponent, but it is Skulason with that puck. He picks it up, gives it back, and they send it to neutral, send it as far as Amston. Amston recollects it, goes back out to Burns. Burns with it, looking for a pass, passes it up to Regan, but he can't handle that. Runarson with it, Runarson upended. Arm stays down, that's pass forward. That arm goes up for that one. Leifson touches it, and Audis with it, and that is a dangerous trip there. And it is Leifson with the injury, and I don't think there was anything other than just a rogue stick that ended up between legs there, guys.
Yeah, he's clutching at his knee. He's not in good shape there. He's in serious pain down on the ice.
Watch this replay.
Yeah, this is not something that you're looking to do as a defensive player. It's actually the last thing you want to do, losing your stick kind of in the legs there. So we'll see how that comes up. And it's the second one here. It's there. Oh, that's a hip check.
Yeah, an attempted hip check, and he ends up with some knee-on-knee collision. Look at that goal there. McIntosh fans on the first shot. Then.
Yeah, it wasn't a beautiful goal as in the setup, but it did go in, and they all count the same. And that. Oh.
So is that Alex Regan being ejected?
Yeah,
from the game.
Well, it might not be a game. It may be a 2-10 because of the timing on that. But we don't know. But Regan is going off the ice. He's being removed by the officiating crew. And Cleason is back up. He'll be going off the ice as well with help from Paulson as he gets it off the ice.
Penalty. Let's have a look at this.
Here's Regan here at the bottom of the screen, cutting through now.
Yeah, he's got the puck there, so it's a tough call there as far as where he's been hit.
Yeah, he's attempting the hit.
He's carrying the puck.
He's attempting for it, but then the player goes to step around and avoid the check. But as he does that, he leaves his leg behind. Regan can't adjust. It's unfortunate for New Zealand.
And it looks like another major penalty going up on the board against Alex Regan.
Yeah.
And yet again, it'll be New Zealand taking this puck and sending it as far as the point. Paulson's got it. And Iceland set up on the major. It's another 5 minutes. And this is going to be a tough one for New Zealand to get through. Leifson with it. Out to Paulson. 1-2-1 against them. Leifson walking in a little bit. Takes the shot. Kick save. And into the corner off Brooks. And that puck goes out as high as Paulson. Out to Leifson. We got some information coming in on the penalty. Leifson. That's sent to the board again. And Sigurdsson trying to get that puck out in front of the net so they have a chance here. Paulson holding on to it. Big shot there. And that's knocked down. It was, Runarson with the slap shot. Guys, 5 minutes and 5 and 20 and game, right?
Yeah, 5 minutes for kneeing and a game misconduct on Alexander Regan. Penalty's been served by number 13, Axel Rusky-Jones. The only good news to come from this on the New Zealand side of things is that the 5 minute penalty will be broken up between the two periods. So they've got about just under 2.5 minutes here to kill at the end of this period too.
Harrison with that puck. Sverrisson shoots it in. That's a rough one there by Daig taking that one. I think he's going to come off the ice.
That's the second time he's been hit up high this game.
He is not doing well. Let's see if that's
just eats that one, doesn't he?
Yeah, and that's why he jumps on the puck there. He gets a stoppage in play, but we got to be. I don't know whether or not that's going to be what they're discussing at this point, but we are still. We got 5 players on the ice. I think it's Burns is coming off here. And we continue 5-on-4 for another 4 minutes here for Iceland on the major penalty against Regan.
With only 2 and a bit left in this period.
Iceland to Arison. Arison quarterbacking this one. Sverrisson with a big shot. He missed it left. And it goes to Helgeson. Helgeson skating in. Arison bothered by Chalice. going low on the far corner. They move that puck around. Just back and forth. Christiansen sitting in the corner taking his time. Sverrisson back. Harrison shot. That goes just over the crossbar. Brooks didn't see it, and it deflected just slightly above. We continue on here on the offensive chance, but Iceland have to go chase that down. Sverrisson having to pick up the puck at the back end, and the top line coming back out for New Zealand on the PK.
Yeah, they got that one deep enough so they could get a full change on the penalty kill. That's really good work.
Iceland set this one up. They come in with a little bit of speed up the left side. Leifson trying to cut it in the middle, and that was offside. That was just lazy. Bjorgensen just picked up his skate a little bit too early, and they go in offside.
They're really liking the setup for the one-timers, Iceland. They keep going for it, but the timing from the player accepting the pass is just not there currently. They did score one, though.
I was going to say their first one-timer got a goal, so they think, perhaps that's
do them all that way, right? That's the idea.
Very pretty.
That was a high sticking, but then offside, I believe, is what it. Well, not. Yes, it was offside, but it's going to go to the other dot because of the location of where it was taken. And we'll have another one dropped here. 4-1 the score. New Zealand down by 3 goals and down a man for several more minutes. Leifson a little early on that. Devlin to take this face-off. Iceland get it first. Leifson sends it back to Paulson. And that it goes to Runnerson as he gains the zone. Runnerson pulls it back, gives it to Leifson. Leifson out high, getting a little closer, sends it low. It'll be Bjorgensen. Bjorgensen to Leifson. Leifson. Paulson back to Leifson. Low shot, kicked away. Might have been off target. Iceland continue with the puck. And that stays in.
How did that not come out?
Leifson, that's a blocker save. I don't think Brooks saw it all. It goes back to Leifson, stays in at the point. Paulson, Leifson, low shot, again off target. That going around the corner here. And Sigurdsson sending it across the way to Johansson. No, sorry, Leifson there. Sends it low. And then it's Amston pulling his player off the puck, going over to Sigurdsson. And that goes out of the zone, and that's going to go for 6.
Oh, yeah.
That old chestnut.
So that will actually roughly cancel out the remainder of this power play for Iceland, which is a big deal for New Zealand. There's 1:40 on the major power play, but it's going to be 4-on-4. Now we only have 22 seconds to go here in the second period, which will be played for its remainder, goal scoring aside, 4-on-4. And that means that they won't have to carry this man advantage over through the period. New Zealand just has to worry about whether they can put up a 3 spot to get things going in the third.
Yeah, 20 seconds left here in this period.
Yeah, McIntosh losing that one. It's Sigurdsson, and they pass it forward. Looks like it's going to be an icing as long as it's skated out there, and it is. Mitchell Freer getting there first, and it'll be another offensive chance for New Zealand in off the face-off dot.
Well, if they can get a set play here off a face-off win, a really good face-off win, go into the third period 4-2, I think they'd be extremely happy.
I think that would be exceptional.
And this will be a McIntosh to Daigle pullback. Watch this. Nope, he doesn't win it there. It's you saw the eye nod. They were expecting it, but Iceland win the face-off, and they've won some important ones so far. And that is Hjalmarsson going behind the net. Hjalmarsson sending it around. Goes out to Arison, and that is the end of the second period with the score 4-1. Iceland shut out that period, but still carrying that big lead from the first over, and a 3-goal lead for Iceland in this silver medal match.
Yeah, New Zealand did well to hold off Iceland. They've had multiple power plays, and it just seems like it's all Iceland at the moment, but New Zealand were able to claw that 1 goal back against the run of play, and they've still got a life in this game.
If you're measuring this period, as you say that New Zealand actually did win this period with a goal But if you were watching the game, penalty after penalty, just and not clicking that. Yeah, a goal against run of play, not a set pattern or anything. They're going to need to get far more efficient in order to be some sort of contender in the third period.
Yeah. Go, man.
Yeah, unofficial in my head. I don't know if this is exactly accurate, but I believe it's now 18 minutes to 4 on the penalties. I'd have to check that to be exactly right, which means that for almost half the game, it's been a power play for Iceland, and you just can't process a win through a man disadvantage that long. It just isn't there. So the fact that they're actually only down 3 goals is, I think, quite impressive for New Zealand at this point.
Yeah.
It sounds silly that they've gotten a goal and they've come back 1 of 4 goals here, and they've been doing it. They've done it through 2 major penalties and ejection, and really they don't really have a whole lot of offensive firepower because they haven't had the puck. They've been sitting back and waiting for Iceland to do what they do. They put some good passes together. They didn't really do that in the second period. They've kind of adjusted to their style. But it's the third period. We've got to see if New Zealand can adjust, stay out of the box, and actually put some passes together. If they do, they actually do have a chance to come back here because Iceland's offense has gone cold.
Yes, 20 minutes, needing at least 3 goals to push them, into overtime or shootout or whatever. But 3 goals is against this very organized, very clinical Iceland team. That's going to be difficult. First of all, stay out of the box.
Yeah, they got to find 3 goals, but it looks like the only line that can do it for New Zealand is the top line at the moment. So if they can find just 1 goal from the second or third line, that takes the pressure off that first line, because it doesn't look like there's anything happening from those lower lines at the moment. It'll be, I would say, a sort of a miracle for them to score, because they haven't been able to generate offensive pressure, sustained defensive pressure down there. It's all in, take a long shot, back out for New Zealand from some of their other lines.
Exactly.
I was just going to say, until that major, once that goal was scored by New Zealand, the crowd got into it. The team got into it. They started to move, and then that happened, and it was like we're all back down, a little bit slower again.
Well, good teams know how to figure out how to grab that and take the initiative back, and that is going to be what we have to judge them for in the third period. Do they get the initiative?
Right. We've got 1 more period in this tournament tonight, folks. It's the big one for New Zealand. They're going for the silver medal, but Iceland have the lead at the moment, 4-1. We're going to take a 5-minute break for 10 minutes, and then we're going to be back for period 3, the conclusion of this tournament. See you soon. No mai, hoki mai. Welcome back, everybody. We are moments away from period 3, and this, the final game of our fantastic tournament that we've held here in Ōtepoti, Dunedin, in the lovely country of New Zealand, Aotearoa. It's Iceland up against New Zealand in this last game of the tournament. They've got a healthy lead, a 4-1 lead against the home nation, New Zealand, courtesy of some great power play goals and a very good first period. But the second period came back to New Zealand just slightly with that one goal, the only goal of the second period, man.
It sure was. The interesting thing was that the defense ratcheted up for New Zealand. Iceland took it a little bit easy because they had the power play for half the period, it felt like. And while they didn't connect anything, they just were patient about it. They didn't get any goals, but they didn't give up a whole lot either. So 4-1 the score. And
let's take a look at some of those highlights, eh?
Yeah, so this one here, good chance here for Iceland, probably the best one that they had, as they just kind of walk this one in, and you're going to see this is a close down that does New Zealand do a really good job of closing down this shot and allowing Brooks to still see it all the way through. So Amston getting in front of it and Brooks jumping down and getting a stop in play. Now this one here is the goal. You'll see it kind of just ratchets itself back into the right side as we play this through. A bit of a whiff, and then you see this come back against the run of play, but Carey doing a great job of getting to the right spot and hitting the bottle. And we'll show you this on the other side. This is, I'll show you what, so it goes into the corner, 2 players here, right there. You see 3 defensive players, and what does Carey do? Carey decides that he needs to get into that open space right there, and he does exactly that, leaving the players 1, 2, 3, 4 all looking at the puck.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happens.
None of them cover him, do they?
No, and he gets in that spot, gets a pass.
Off the skate.
And boom, there it is. That's the
Short
only
side,
goal.
too.
Yeah. Now this will be the penalty. We'll see it. That's not it right there. We'll see it right here. And that looks like it was somewhat knee on knee. And let's back this up just a little bit. This was the most important call in the period here because it led to a 5-minute major for Iceland.
Yeah, so you can see he's got a little bit of leading with the knee there, Regan. And then catches, who was it that got caught with the knee?
Boy, that's a good question. I think.
And I have not seen him out since, so it was a doozy.
And so that was a 5-minute for knee and a game misconduct. That penalty is still being served by Axel Rusky-Jones, but during that 5-minute major, Iceland took a penalty too for too many men. So we've got a 4-on-4 situation for the start of this third period.
Yeah,
followed by a super brief power play for New Zealand.
Yeah, I think so. It looks like so officially 1 minute and 17 seconds is on the board here, and there'll be a 20 to 21 second power play, which won't amount to much probably because you don't really have a whole lot of time to set up. Yeah. And then we'll be back to 5-on-5 action. So we start 4-on-4. It'll be Eden, McIntosh, Daigle, and Carey out there with for New Zealand, and Leifson, Arison, Skulason, and Runnerson for Iceland. So here we go, third period action at the Dunedin Ice Stadium. It'll be a big comeback for New Zealand if they can come back as they're down 4-1, 3 goals down. New Zealand have it. Chance in front. McIntosh getting a shot through the slot. Can't really get too much on it. And Iverson up to the task as that puck goes around. 4-on-4 continues. That goes to Iverson. He puts a glove on it. That puck was loose for a long time, and Eden jumping in trying to get it away, but they get a stop in play.
Yes, I'm not sure what was happening there. It looks like whether he was trying to release it afterwards or there was no pressure on him until Eden skated in.
And that's what gave him the whistle. McIntosh to take another one here. He wins it, but it goes out to Arison, and Iceland start up the ice. Eden with a good interception, and that puck goes around. Daigle gets it taken off his stick, and Skulason sending it down the ice, but not far enough for an icing. They just go for a change. They get everybody over the boards. New Zealand changing a couple here. That out to Amston as he's going to head up the offense with Orr back out on the ice, as is Burns. And Carey coming off for Audis. 15 seconds left on the 4-on-4. It'll be a power play coming up here. Callum Burns with it, trying to take a shot. He does. Glove save, knocked away. No real danger there for Iceland. And that gets passed back into Burns. They should be on the 22nd power play, and they are indeed. Audis with it. That goes back to the middle, but nobody home. Going to go to the length of the ice as they're down a man, Iceland are. And Amston has it. Amston looking. Dalmanteau losing an edge as he comes up. Not too happy about that, but he's back out on the ice, which is a good sign. They play that into the corner. Power play over, and we're back to 5-on-5. Audis with it. Takes the shot. Deflection. Oh, that's turned over to Audis has it. Audis leaves it behind. It's in the slot, but Iceland have it. They move out and get it out of the zone. 2-on-3. They dump it far into the corner, and they go for a chance in front. And that was Farrison. Couldn't get a hold of that one. And we are, that was a Sverrisson shot again. Hit up into the corner. Christensen. And sent in for a moment by Strignson. That's knocked aside, and it's going to go deep into the Iceland zone. Skulason with that one, passed out. That one going up to Leifson. He's trying to take a shot that deflects off Daigle, goes into the glass. Corner out to, well, it goes across the ice. Long shot, that goes just over the crossbar. And it looked like Runnerson with a long shot there, if I've got the number right. It is, and Iceland continue on this offense. Arison gives it up. Stick save, and goes out of play for a stop in the offensive zone for Iceland.
Once again, Iceland breaking out of their own zone with those quick short passes. When New Zealand breaks out, they're longer, maybe a little bit more desperation in their passes, trying to make those longer passes. We'll see which one works. Who's going to get the goals in this period?
Bjorgensson to take this one against McIntosh. McIntosh wins it, gives it to Flynn Hayward-Jones, sends it to Eden. Eden sending it forward, and that's McIntosh coming up the left side as he gives and goes. He waits, takes a shot that goes straight in on the goaltender. They scramble around, and they're asking for a stop in play, and it was Iverson that was hit in the face on that shot, and he's got a problem with the mask at the moment, and he gets a stop in play.
Here's the shot from McIntosh, and puck drops down for Carey. Tried to get it on net with this follow-up, but unfortunately for him,
Matt used that word puck luck. Once again, unable to bang it in. It was bouncing around. Goaltender was out of position, and New Zealand just could not quite get it in.
Iverson looking okay, gets his mask back on, and it's McIntosh at the dot. He wins that one. They hold it for a moment. Still there with McIntosh, and Iceland knock it away. Helgeson passing it around, goes out of the zone, past Carey. It's Sandoy that's going to chase this down, and he does get the icing call eventually, and that'll come all the way back into the New Zealand offensive side. The Ice Blacks needing to get 3 goals this period. The Falcons just simply need to hold on for the silver medal.
Yeah, McIntosh, if he can get a good clean face-off win here, get it back to Sandoy or Hayward-Jones.
McIntosh with another win, but it's Iceland grabbing it again, and Bjorgensson sending it back, and then it goes out to Halnarsson. New Zealand failing to clear there, and that puck goes out to neutral. Now Eden one-on-one. He's got a chance. Carey skating up. Eden takes the shot and deflected by the captain. That is Paulson giving up the body, taking the puck, and that puck goes out of play for a stop.
Boy, that's going to leave a mark.
That will leave a mark.
Yeah, that's that'll be something that I think an ice pack will be due there.
Yes.
All right, another face-off here. Atwell's going to take this one for New Zealand, this time against Johansson. Johansson jumps early, gets a warning. Atwell takes it, wins it, gets it out to the blue line. It's Amsden. Long shot in, a floater. Not enough traffic, and Iverson sees it, gloves it, and stops it.
I don't mind that from Amsden. Just got to get pucks towards the net in this period and try and get them to be a funny bounce in front.
It was a little high for a deflection.
Atwell back out. Same thing, and it goes behind this time. Amsden with that shot, it gets deflected. It doesn't go through the glove. It just gets behind that wall, and New Zealand moving its offense around here. Iceland a little on its heels. Johannesson passing it forward, and that goes to Stefansson. He lets it go and gives it to Amsden as New Zealand looking to break that out. Long pass up to Audis. Audis coming up the left side, 1-on-2. Takes a kind of a weak shot to get a bounce off that backboard. It stays in, exactly what he was looking for. Passed up to Burns, now to McDonald. McDonald's got it. He's looking, surveying his options off that left side. Gives it back to Burns. Long shot, Burns. Deflection in front. That's going to go back out to the blue line. Amsden has it. Amsden holds. Amsden shoots. Another one, two in front, and Iverson's there. His own player kind of runs into him. Skulason knocking Iverson off his skates, but he gets the stop.
Different strategy. Dump in front, not big slappers. And Iverson's having trouble collecting those. He's dropped them a couple times, which is exactly what New Zealand needs. They just need to get it behind Iverson.
Yeah, we saw that from Thailand when they played New Zealand too. Ken Edwin Kindborn just was floating these soft ones in towards net. Easier for the players to deflect, but also a bouncing puck is hard for the goaltender to judge where it's going to go.
Or doesn't get this one. Iverson getting a little extra time from the referee, and now that's Signarsson coming up the right side. He's getting a pass over to Hjartson, and that is sent off the backboards. They hold it in. Iceland continuing with the offense here, and they sling it back into the corner. Signarsson trying to get rid of it. He does. Leifson gives it up, and a chance in front, but that's knocked away by New Zealand. Goes to neutral, 2-on-1, breaking out. Coming onside shot, and that goes just left as it was McDonald with a chance. And on his 18th birthday, he gets a good chance at the Iceland goal, but doesn't connect. And that's going to be a penalty there. Daig taking another one, pulling down the attacking player for Iceland. I think that was number 23, Leifson, who was just skating hard there.
Yeah, Daigle had a question for the referee about that one. He wasn't too happy. There he goes. It did look like the Iceland player went down fairly easily, but
it looked like he dropped his hips before they'd made contact. I'll just leave it at that.
Yes.
But it is a 2-minute penalty on Daig again. And the New Zealand side running out of time. I'll do that face-off again. They've got to get 3 goals here, at least, in order to get this one extended. And there is a call there. I don't know what that one is exactly. Don't know. The referee was doing some arm gestures, and I wasn't able to figure anything out. Guys, anything?
no.
Not sure.
Oh, they're putting time back on the clock. That's what it is, because they've got – that was dropped. They ran a few seconds. They have to fix it. Now we go. Face-off won by New Zealand. But once again, Iceland get the secondary control of possession. Arison with the pass. That's down low. Skated around off to Sverrisson, up to Arison. Arison passes over to Helgeson. Helgeson holds, leaves it for Arison. They switch places. Arison with a shot. That's turned around quickly, and McIntosh gets rid of it, yeets it down the ice, and they come back out for a change on both sides. Helgeson leaves it behind. Paulson passes it to Sigurdsson. Sigurdsson gains the zone. Looking around. Goes out to Runnerson. Runnerson out. Leifson with the attempted one-timer. Iceland hold on to it. Leifson has it at the half boards. He's a little bit harassed by Atwell, but he doesn't come all the way out. Leifson for the give and go here. And that was read well by New Zealand. It goes out to Paulson at the top. Shot that goes high over the board, or the over the crossbar, and it's Leifson not able to connect. Shot in front, that goes off the pads of Brooks, and a shot, glove save, but it's not held. goes out again. Signerson with a shot. Garbage chance in front. They can't do anything with it. Paulson just keeping it in, and they continue with 30 seconds to go on this power play. Iceland with continued possession. That goes over to Signerson. Out to Runnerson. To Leifson. Aronson. Heavy shot off the board, and that one's going to clear and come all the way down the ice for a break.
Well, New Zealand getting lucky there with a couple of messy pucks in front, and Iceland unable to get anything on it.
Stefansson coming in quickly, gains the puck at the goal line, waits for some players to come in as they change, and that's Christiansen.
5-on-5.
They're back to even strength. Christiansen still behind the goal. Christiansen going all the way to the half board, still has it. Burns kind of on his tail there, but not doing too much. Johansson sends it in. Glove save for Brooks, and that will settle things down.
Yeah, exactly that. Brooks gloving that, not letting it go. That was a good penalty kill. There's a bit of garbage in front, as you mentioned, but basically Iceland was unable to put one behind the net.
They allowed them to cycle quite a bit, but when it came time for the puck to kind of come in the middle, they got rid of it quickly. Here we go with another face-off. They're waiting a little bit. Johansson comes in against McIntosh. Johansson wins. Skuleson with a shot, and that's held. Brooks looking around, doesn't really know where it is, but he's got his glove on it, and he gets the stop.
Yeah, he kicks the left pad out here, and it sort of sits in front of him. But Iceland have had a couple of really good face-off wins in the offensive zone, which have led to great opportunities.
Yeah, third period, they've been winning a lot of them or getting possession immediately after them, even if they don't win it statistically. They've had a lot of early possession. Face-off won again by Iceland. Shot Aronson over the net, and that goes halfway out. New Zealand pushing it all the way out, and they have to clear. Daig's got it now as he goes behind Brooks' net. Holds up. Waits for Hjalmarsson to clear. Kind of baits him in a little bit, and goes the other side. And that's passed halfway up to Carey. Carey coming in the zone. Carey trying to jump through in the middle. He can't hold on to it. Iceland have it. They fight for it, and it's Freer getting the puck. Back to Daig, and we do it again here as New Zealand set up their offense. And they decide where that's going to go. Now they break out with two options, and they do exactly that with Otis getting some speed up the left side. He takes a shot, glove save, and Iverson holding on to slow down the pursuit.
I'd like to see him take that around the net. He's gained the zone, and then he's basically just thrown it on net for an easy save for Iverson.
You're not going to beat Iverson with that shot. The screen wasn't close enough.
Yeah, he's got to hit. If he's going for the rebound, it's got to be lower. Otis with it there at the face-off dot. He loses that, and Iceland once again start off with possession after a stop. That rims around the glass, goes behind for Sandoy. Sandoy first there. Stefansson on the other side. No, sorry, I don't want to say that right. That's Sangrimson. That's the one. And then we go over to Helgeson as Helgeson sends it to Stefansson. I was right the first time. How about that? Shouldn't second guess myself, right? That puck pinned up against the boards in neutral. Otis digging away. And a good hit there by Sandoy. Sandoy kind of pinches off Blondel there and makes him go the far side. And it's Chalice dumping it forward. Chalice sending it deep. And two players on the forecheck, but it's going to be sent around. Leifson's going to get there where Amston's at, but Amston controls the puck, gets it back. And Amston trying with that long pass, sends it forward, and that's going to go for icing. And trying to hit McIntosh on the fly there. Just didn't hit him.
Just a little bit off target.
Yeah, I think we'll probably see a few more of those long stretch passes from New Zealand as we creep into the last 10 minutes of this silver medal game here in the Dunedin Ice Stadium. New Zealand down by 3, really going to have to push now for those 3 goals that they need.
Leifson to take this one for Iceland. Carey and Burns change up here in positions. And Iceland have it again. Christiansen sending it low, goes to Sigurdsson. Back to Christiansen, and it's in the gear of McIntosh. He was trying to get it out of his shirt for a moment. Goes over to Eden. Eden hasn't cleared it yet, but this one does go, trying to get it to carry, but instead goes to Christensen. He sends it the length and gets it called for icing.
I think that's the first time I've seen a missed pass, miscommunication with that Iceland team.
It's been a while, that's for sure, Dave. The interesting thing here is that I don't think they've been out that long, so I don't think this is going to affect too much here. But it'll be McIntosh to take this one against Johansson. And there it is, McIntosh with a win, but it just sneaks past Burns, and they have to go back to neutral and reset. They're offsides here. They touch up. Iceland come in onside. Looking for a pass here is Leifson. Leifson just snowed everybody in the MAC there as he hit the brakes. Pass outside by Runnerson as he's back out on the ice with Skulison. And that pass is just going to go to neutral. Eden's going to try to get to the puck. It's onside, but he's going to have to back off. He'll be the forecheck here. Eden's going to draw a penalty. That'll be interference on Eden. 6-on-5 for the moment. While Iceland chuck the puck down, they just decide to give it up. And interference the call as Eden will go off for 2.
Took a run of the man behind the net there. Did he think he had the puck?
He was running interference, that man, whoever that was. Running, creating a blind.
A little bit of a pick there, and then Chris Eden went to the ref,
pick,
palms out, like that was what he was intending to do, get in my way, which he did, and he did a good job of it too because he drew the penalty.
Exactly.
So who interfered with who? Exactly.
Well, it's either way, it's another penalty kill for New Zealand.
Yeah, just what they
Power
don't
play
need.
goes to work for
Harrison
Iceland.
with it. And once again, Helgeson holding it to Arison. Arison with the dangerous chance there. He just lets it go through, though. And it's Verison, can't hold on to it. And that's sent down to Iverson for a little bit of a setup here. Iceland coming down the right side this time. And it's Christensen with some speed. He loses the puck for a moment, goes into the corner. Sverrisson with it. Back in front, some bouncing around there, and that's going to go out to the point. It's Helgeson out to Paulson, back to Helgeson. Helgeson with a shot. Brooks has it. No, he doesn't, and it's sent back out to the half boards. Iceland still with it. Helgeson cross ice, Svensson. So Sverrisson to Paulson, and then back to Helgeson. That's going to go into the corner. Sverrisson looking for it. He doesn't hold on to it, and it's going to be Day coming out the left side, 1-on-2. That puck is given up, but it gives everybody a chance on the New Zealand side to come over the boards and get set up.
Day did his job there.
Yep, great time.
40
that line change.
35 seconds to go on this power play for Iceland. New Zealand really missing some of the time they need here as Runnerson holds on to the puck, and they just take their time, Iceland. Runnerson. Low shot in by Bjorgvinsson, and that stays in the corner. Leifson passing it out. That was a chance in front, but they can't bury it. Iceland running out of time on the power play here. Up high. That's Paulson. And it was a chance by Runnerson with a one-timer, but the puck goes back out of the zone. Power play over. It's 5-on-5. Signarsson leaving it behind for Runnerson. Runnerson with it. Runnerson walking it in. 1-on-3. Brooks grabs it. No, he doesn't. That goes and stays behind him. Skulison with a chance there as he tries to get a deflection from Signarsson. And he does just that, but it's not on net. And New Zealand grabbed the puck. Long pass, but that's intercepted by Stefansson. And then that's back and forth at neutral as Amston has it now for New Zealand. Passed up to Chalice. Chalice passes it forward to Audis. He's got a one-on-one, takes a shot, goes over the crossbar. And Audis gets it back. Any puck on net right now is a good puck for New Zealand as they run out. They're running out of time in this third period. They need offense. They cannot rely on just continually stopping Iceland here. New Zealand lose that. It goes out to neutral ice, and Iceland hold on to it. That's going to be sent in for icing, and they'll get a face-off in the offensive zone.
Interesting stat from tonight's game. New Zealand have almost had a full period on the penalty kill, which is not an ideal way to play a game of hockey.
No, especially a silver medal game.
McIntosh to take this one against Johansson. Johansson wins that one, and Iceland have the puck. Stefansson sending it down, and Daigle's going to have to chase this one. No problem there. And New Zealand looking to set up an offense. Daigle holds up, snows it, looks up, sends a pass across the ice. Mishandled for a moment, then passed forward by to McIntosh. McIntosh draws two players in front, a chance, and it's Eden unable to hold on to that puck as it was bouncing around. And it'll be a chance here for Hjalmarsson as he gets there first, comes in on Brooks, tries to go around the net, but then holds up, then takes a shot, gets it right on target. Hjalmarsson doing exactly what Iceland needs to do, getting a face-off in their offensive zone.
Still showing signs of urgency from Iceland there. The speed hasn't dropped pretty much the whole game. They're still out-racing New Zealand to a lot of pucks up and down the ice, and it just means New Zealand cannot get the position on the offensive zone, which is where they need it right now with 5 minutes to go.
Hjalmarsson to take this for Iceland, but he loses it to Joe Orr. They get that puck back, but it's in the middle, in the slot. Iceland playing with it for a moment. Big shot by Paulson, does not get through, breaks Atwell's stick, goes behind, and it is Sverensson chasing that down. He gets there and gets it taken away by Simon. New Zealand have the offense now, and a broken stick on the ice. That's a dangerous pass left behind for Simon. Simon sending it forward. McDonald with it. McDonald may have got a piece of it because they're not calling icing here, and he's chasing along with Orr on the forecheck, two of them going up high, but that's turned around quickly. Hjalmarsson coming down the right side. He's offside. Yes, he is. He was offside, so they have to leave it and evacuate. And it's New Zealand coming through the neutral ice area, sending it in off the glass. They charge in, and Orr trying to get a shot, but that gets deflected away into the corner. Taken away by McDonald. McDonald trying to get that back in front. He has to cycle it around to Orr, and then Amston needling it through a couple of players, but Iceland take it over, and they get it out of the zone. That's sent forward. It'll be Runnerson trying to pass that back. He can't connect. It goes out to neutral. Aronson gives up that pass. Goes to Chalice. Chalice takes a long shot. No trouble there for Iverson as he gloves it away. And Iceland come up on the offense again with Signarsson trying to get in the zone. He does. Sends it forward. Runnerson trying to get to the puck, but it stays in the corner with Burns. Burns tries to get it out, and a chance right in front and a goal.
Left all
As they were trying to get a change, Iceland gets a turnover, and they make it 5-1.
Left all alone, gliding in from behind the net into the slot. There he goes. Left, absolutely.
Yeah, it was Burns in the corner there. Just didn't come out with the other player.
Yeah.
They were preparing to leave the zone, New Zealand.
Against the flow of traffic. They thought they were moving up over the blue line.
They were a step ahead of themselves, got turned over, and Iceland, clinical. They've been clinical all game. They've buried that goal to give them a 4-goal lead here.
It was the goal scored by?
Haldor Skulason.
Johnny on the spot. I mean, it was just left absolutely unguarded.
Carey throwing it in after the center ice faceoff, and Iverson losing a blade there. No problem as the defense was there for him. The ice is still slippery here at the Dunedin Ice Stadium. New Zealand touch up here. Stefansson has the puck. They send that behind and try to work it out. They do. It goes out to neutral. Daigle's got it. He's looking to get the offense started immediately, but with a 4-goal deficit, the clock is ticking quickly, and New Zealand need to put some passes together and get some offense very quickly if they want any chance at this. Eden leaves that behind for McIntosh. McIntosh coming up the left side. He holds, tries to shoot, waits, takes the shot. Iverson turtles up on that puck and holds it Helgi Iverson getting the face-off.
Well, I was wondering just about a minute ago if New Zealand were going to risk pulling the goalie with about 3 minutes left with a 3-goal lead, but with that 4th goal now, I don't see them taking the chance. I don't think they've got enough firepower to score 4 here in 2.5 minutes. You never know, but it's a bigger and bigger hill to climb.
And Iceland have managed their 4 goals in the first period that they got quickly. They've managed it throughout the game. They haven't extended it. They haven't done anything silly. But as Bjorgvinsson skates it around in the corner, and Sverrisson and Paulson, they know they've got nothing that they need to do other than just sit this time out and wait for that silver medal.
Own the puck.
They will continue with possession. Paulson with it. Paulson holds on. Pass over to Sverrisson, but that's taken away as they don't connect on that. Goes out to neutral. Eden's got it. Eden 1-on-2. Eden knocked over. And that'll be a penalty against Jacob Carey, a boarding call. I don't think he meant to do anything like that, but he's going to go off, and it is, I'm trying to get a number here.
Borgensen?
18.
Yeah, Runnerson,
No,
if that's what it is,
I think
but
it's
12.
12. Bjorgvinsson, that looks correct on the nameplate, yes. And he's not doing too well, to be fair. He looks like he may have hit his head into the board there. So they're going to get everybody off the ice, and this will be a bit of a delay of what was more or less a finished game here.
Here's a replay of the hit.
Yeah, that's not a there's not much in it, but he falls over funny, and
He hit the guy with the puck with the shoulder on shoulder.
Yep.
The guy fell funny into the boards. If that was in the middle of the ice, it would have been a clean hit. I feel. I'm not a referee. I'm not that good with the rules. But if that was in the middle of the ice and he just fell on the ice and slid, would there be a call there?
I don't know. But let's give Nate deserves a shout. Our cameraman, he's been here the whole time, and for this week. And Nate, you've done a little bit. Give me a nod. Do you think that was a little bit light, or you don't want to take it? Don't want to make the call? Okay, he's just following the action here. He's busy, folks. So we tried to get him on there, but he won't be pulled into a decision on this, and I don't blame him for that. But that is going to be a 2-minute penalty against New Zealand, and they will finish out 5-on-4, which seems awfully appropriate for this game. The amount of penalties just isn't going to work for any offense.
Rounds it up to a full period of penalties, perhaps.
Iceland with it. They rotate around, and it'll be Runnerson getting it out to Paulson. Big shot here by Johansson. Stays in the corner. Back to Runnerson. Runnerson holding. Low shot in. That was knocked away. Leifson with a chance there. Brooks up to that challenge. Shot behind the net for a pass. Was out top to Paulson. He leaves it on the far side. Slap shot there by Runnerson. Kicked away into the corner. And now some physicality. Runnerson with it. Runnerson takes a shot, and Brooks gloves it. And everybody comes together, but everybody relaxes a little bit as we continue here, 5-1.
Yeah, New Zealand with the final penalty kill of the night, it would seem, just playing for some pride here to not allow another goal.
So, guys, I guess we can talk about this in a little bit more of a relaxed manner, as I think it's Michelson's going to take this face-off for Iceland. That's some new ice time there. That's going to go out to neutral. Thoughts on, does this really all come down to taking penalties and being behind a man the whole time?
I was going to say that Iceland was their organization in the offensive zone.
There you go.
Greater than New Zealand's.
Okay, and that's Blundell with some more time at the back wall. Over to Christiansen, and that gets taken out. Otis with a long
one
stretch
last
pass.
chance.
One more stretch pass. It'll be Devlin getting there first. Tries to pass it forward. That goes past Iverson, and Iceland turned that around. Helgeson holding on to it. Blondal, and there's the puck. There's the game. 5-1 the final. Iceland. It's Iceland taking the silver medal, and New Zealand taking the bronze medal in the end.
Yeah, a big game for Iceland. They came out hard. That first period was absolutely clinical. They dominated after the first few minutes, which felt like New Zealand was in it. But then penalties, they had 2 power play goals. They've got 2 more, 5-on-5, and they went into the first break with a 4-0 lead, and New Zealand just couldn't come back from that.
The New Zealand's passing, not as crisp. I keep saying that, but I mean, these are things that at this level, they needed to be right on.
Yeah, in a clutch game like this, you needed to be right on your game. You needed to be in it from the very start, especially against an Iceland team, which looked like they were too dialed in to begin the game straight away.
The first 7 shots that Iceland had, I think it was 3 goals, which was that's harsh on the goaltender.
So 3-0, 7-3, and 1 for 14 goals in 5 games. That's just not going to get it done, especially when 7 of them come in one game, and 5 of them were in one period. So the Ice Blacks are going to have a lot to look at here. They put on a very spirited performance to say that they were defensive when they needed to be, when they could be, but the offense just simply wasn't there to be good enough to compete with a team like Iceland. And I think that, what is it, 0-7 now, lifetime Iceland?
I was just going to comment on that. Yeah, they've just ramped it up to 7 wins against New Zealand.
So Iceland will be in the division again next year too, which is also something to, I don't know if you want to look forward to that or not, but the Iceland looked, like you said, they looked clinical. And let's be honest, they have had a very good tournament, bar one game. They drew Georgia first, so that is where they ran into the biggest problem. Let's turn it over to what's on the ice here, guys.
Yeah, player of the game awarded to Jacob Carey, number 24 for New Zealand.
Carey with a couple of goals this tournament, 3 of them, I believe. And he did a really good job as far as drawing a lot of double teams this entire tournament. He was a focus for other teams' defenses.
Yeah, only goal for New Zealand tonight there.
Yep.
Number 18 for Iceland, Una Runarsson for player of the day. He scored tonight. He scored plenty this tournament.
Yes, he did.
I think he might have got 4 goals. Did he score 2 tonight or just the 1?
I just had the one on the cross ice one-timer.
Yeah. So 4 and 4 for him for 8 points, unless he was assisted. He might have got a few assists tonight. I haven't got the stats page in front of me.
That one-timer will be on the highlights reel.
Yeah, that was
pretty.
It was lovely off the face-off, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was just like win it, pass across,
Boom,
one time in the net. That was beautiful. I think we'll do the player of the tournament now for both teams. Andrew Mills, president of the NZIHF, presenting the player of the tournament awards. And then we will follow with the
tournament.
Anthem of
Most valuable player is number 19, Colin McIntosh.
That's pretty well deserved.
Yeah, top point scorer for New Zealand.
Team Iceland tournament most valuable player is number 18, Una Runarsson.
He collected the player of the day today and player of the tournament for Iceland as well. So certainly a standout and a young man too, not into his mid-20s yet. So plenty to come from him over the next few years for Iceland.
I'm sure we'll see him next year for sure.
Standing
it's an awkward one there.
Yeah, standing beside Colin, who's a lot older.
And a lot taller.
More seasoned, yeah.
And a lot hairier.
Yeah. Colin collecting, he got player of the game last night.
That's right. And now the national anthem of Iceland for their win tonight. Congratulations to Iceland. Dominant performance tonight, 5-1 against New Zealand. That earns them the silver medal.
Wait, don't touch that dial.
Handshakes. I'll get through. There's the tradition of ice hockey. The handshakes after the game, camaraderie. We'll now move on to the closing ceremony, the presentation of the medals and the trophies. Georgia joining us on the ice after this game. See them there now coming out to receive their medals, and some very interesting hairdos out there for Georgia, having a bit of fun. It's been a wonderful tournament. It's been a wonderful 2 tournaments here in Otepoti, Dunedin, and I'm just so thrilled that it's been such a big occasion, and the crowd here, the Dunedin city has come out in support of all these teams. We've seen fans from every country in the stands, flags and everything. It's been wonderful to see.
It's also been good to see that, I mean, just from a numbers perspective, hockey's growing in New Zealand. Games are selling out. Everybody wants to be here, and that just means growth for this sport in the country, and it's a good way to take things forward. This was a great celebration of the sport, and the National League's pickup for the men's and women's teams right after this, just next weekend, which is exactly where we need to transition to.
Absolutely. You know, it was really neat in between the games and such, the kids running around trading the buttons and the badges.
Pins, yeah.
You know, like that groundswell that you know, they're the ones that are on the ice. You watch the Saturday morning games, and they're able to see their stars and international stars as well.
Yeah, these are the types of events that make young kids become players,
hungry
and
for
enjoy this sport, and that's a great thing for seeing everybody here in Dunedin, especially all, like you said, I mean, we're seeing them go right in front of us, all the kids that came out just to see the Ice Blacks and the Falcons take each other on for the silver medal tonight. But it's not just this game. We saw kids here in the early afternoon just going to games, just enjoying themselves, so it can't be a better situation for New Zealand hockey going forward. Thus, it's been a fantastic tournament.
I have to admit, as a child, a young one, you know, if it had hockey in it, I was there. You know, it didn't matter who was playing.
Well, you're a Canadian.
That's true.
You didn't have a choice.
Canadians
a religion.
live and breathe hockey. And that's the kind of thing we want here in New Zealand too, live and breathe. We live and breathe rugby at the moment, but if we could, I would love to see ice hockey
There's room.
get a little bit more coverage. And we've been in the news this week, which has been great, because there's probably still plenty of people in New Zealand that aren't aware that we have a national ice hockey team, or that they have a local rink where local leagues play every week.
Not only the local leagues, but they have that national league level where they can come out and support their teams from their city.
Yeah, let's hope it follows through. So we can't be too far away from
The Championship Directorate has selected the top players of this World Championship.
top players.
The Directorate Award will now be presented by President of Ice Hockey New Zealand, Andy Mills, and General Manager of Ice Hockey New Zealand, Paris Hyde.
So these will be the awards for the best goaltender, the best defender, and the best forward for the 2025 IIHF Men's Ice Hockey World Championships Division 2.
Goalkeeper of the 2025 IIHF World Championship Division 2 Group B is from team Chinese Taipei, number 25, Xiaopo Yu.
Xiaopo Yu, the number one goaltender as selected by the officials for this tournament.
Yeah, he had a great tournament overall. Played four of the 5 games and had a .935 saves average.
Best defender is from team New Zealand, number 23, Justin Daigle.
Justin Daigle being selected top defender of the tournament. As soon as I said New Zealand, I had a bit of an inkling it was going to be Justin Daigle.
Few goals, few penalties, all arounder.
Big goal last night against Hungary, which is essentially
pushed them to this.
Won them the bronze medal there with that win last night.
Forward is from Team Georgia, number 21, Makar Nikishanin.
Makar Nikishanin, top forward for the tournament. He was absolutely lights out.
6 goals, 6 assists for 12 points, just 2 minutes. Believe it or not, he's only a +1, which is a little bit of an odd statistic for somebody who had such a big impact for Georgia.
Yeah, might have had a few on the power play there, but I got to say, when they played New Zealand, his line with him with Caroline, they just looked dangerous all the time. He carried the puck so well. He was a threat every time he had the puck. So yeah, well deserved from the gold medal team, confidently striding across the ice in his shoes.
That's Makar Nikishanin, and yeah, they're going to look good in 2A when they move up. The gold medalists,
gentlemen,
they deserve to be up there.
The gold, silver, and bronze medals and awards will be presented by Senior Vice President of IIHF, Petr Bříza.
Peter Bříza will be presenting.
There it is. You got there in the end. That's it.
I've had so many different
Ladies and gentlemen, the 2025 IIHF World Championship Division 2 Group B bronze medal goes to Team New Zealand.
So New Zealand moving up to collect their bronze medals. They couldn't get it done here tonight in front of a packed sellout crowd, but I'm sure the fans are super proud of the team and what they've achieved this tournament. They had 3 wins out of 5.
And 9 points was enough to get them the bronze medal, and you were right. Last night was the real decider to get them on the podium and put Bulgaria in the rearview mirror.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened, and they had this chance to run it up to second place. but they ran into Iceland in that first period.
Could you say they ran into an iceberg?
Oh.
Yeah.
I was waiting for that one.
Sorry, Mike. Sorry.
So the New Zealand team going by Iceland, giving them another handshake, because why not? And then now going in front of Georgia as well with the bronze medals around their necks.
And while they do that, I'm just going to take an opportunity just to thank everyone that's helped out in bringing this wonderful tournament and the women's tournament as well to life. They don't get a lot of mention. They get a little bit of thank you from the officials, but the volunteers that have put in hour after hour after hour of work here, officiating, the crowd, they're doing the penalty boxes, they're doing serving food, all sorts of things, playing music, announcing names,
taking
goals,
tickets.
It's just all that. It doesn't happen without those volunteers, and a big thank you to all those folks for helping do that.
And you can only do that when you have a world-class city like Dunedin show up with their volunteers, and that's exactly what they've done. So a big thank you to Dunedin for hosting this one again. And I know that I got my start really calling games the last time that under-20 was here in 2017. And, these types of tournaments make impact on so many people at so many levels. You just never know how it's going to turn out. But in the end, the city wins. Everybody comes out. Great community, great ice hockey community. And hopefully that means positive things, nothing but positives for Dunedin going forward on this.
As soon as this is announced, as soon as the announcement that New Zealand picks up this opportunity, we'll start moving, and the volunteers, that starts way back, with organizations having to.
And there's Callum Burns accepting the bronze medal trophy. And now we'll move on to Iceland, winners of tonight.
It's a tough one to accept a bronze trophy after you've lost that game. It feels, because you've lost, it doesn't feel quite as good as. I guess it's the same as like if there's a third and fourth playoff and you win third. It's a little bit. We weren't in the big game, the big show.
But you walked off a winner in that case. That's the big difference. But the problem in a tournament like this, if somebody's new to this format, it's 5 games. There is no playoff.
One shot at it.
You play each team once. You get one chance, and that's it. And then the points all add up because of that.
You talk about bronze. Iceland had a brick against Georgia their first game. They did. And they're probably saying, oh, my goodness, we could have. Every game is so important in that first game, which is very difficult because, they're new to everything.
Yeah, there was a 4-0 shutout the first game, and we thought, maybe Iceland are, not up to, they just traveled in. They haven't been here that long maybe. And it turns out, actually, after you see the entire tournament, you look back on it, you think, that might not have actually been that weird of an outcome. When you see Georgia and Iceland play, if you said, I'm going to watch those two play tomorrow, you'd probably say that's about what's going to happen. So that was interesting because we had some other situations in the prior tournament where it was maybe that was travel, maybe that was how this turns out it was just Georgia's dominant team, and they managed to get the shutout first. But ever since that point, Iceland has been dominant.
Yeah, if they had the opportunity to play more games against each other and create patterns and set each game were totally different. Your opponent was absolutely a whole different kettle of fish.
You could break it down into periods. I mean, tonight's game was 3 very different periods.
Right. And that Thailand game against New Zealand, classic. 2 very tight periods. Third period blew wide open.
It's how these types of tournaments go. Like you said, Matt, they're so short. They happen They have to get done. You have to adjust to styles. You are faced with 5 completely different opponents, and you have to deal with all of them. Georgia did a great job doing exactly that. They held on for what was the instant classic of this tournament, winning 8-7 against Bulgaria, and it really kind of dragged Bulgaria down. They lost, and they ended up kind of falling out of the medals due to that. So these things turn in an instant, and that's kind of the fun part about them. You really just don't know what's going on.
There, Marcus McDonald just turned 18.
That's right, yeah.
Interesting.
Half of Thailand's under 18.
Yeah. Interesting story. Marcus McDonald, 17, making his debut for the New Zealand championship team, was 15, making his debut for Botany Swarm 2 years ago. In 2009, last time Dunedin held the World Championships, Jordan Chalice, still playing, 17 when he made his debut for the World Championship team in New Zealand, and he made his debut for Botany Swarm 2 years earlier at the age of 15.
Oh,
so
interesting.
a little bit of a connection there between those two. It's like a handoff to the next generation almost, but just the golf and age displayed right there at 16 years later. Jordan Chalice still playing, Marcus McDonald making his debut, getting on ice with probably someone he's probably looked up to for years, you know.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. It'll be the same with all these teams. These young kids coming in, you can see them. They got the glint in their eye, you know. They're fresh. They're ready to play international ice hockey, and then they're playing with people they've probably looked up to their whole life. You know, if they've been followers of ice hockey in their country, now they're playing with a captain who's, you know, leading goal scorer for their country.
There is room to grow in this country for players.
Yes, the national anthem of Georgia. now the winners' trophy, the gold trophy, to be presented to.
Good evening, Dunedin.
George. Oh,
First of all, this is a official part ending of this tournament. I would like to congratulate Team Georgia for promoting to the upper division, and congratulate also for all other teams for a fantastic week of hockey. And I think we showed the fairness and great competition on the ice. So thank you very much. And also thank you very much, Mr. President, for fantastic organization of this tournament. And let's hope that we can come back in the future to New Zealand and to Dunedin as well. So the official part is that on behalf of International Ice Hockey Federation, I declare this tournament as closed. And now I would like to ask the captain of Team Georgia to get the gold trophy. Thank you very much and have a safe trip home.
Peter Breezer, the tournament chairman, presenting the gold trophy to Georgia. Well-deserved win here in Dunedin.
And Ivan Carolyn picking up that trophy with the most incredible dew and sunglasses. Here they go.
Yeah, that's got it. It's clearly a wig. I saw the blonde one was held in hands for the
First Thorsten, yeah. Both the Ivans decided that they wanted something different for this tournament.
I think Nikoshanen's hair is real. Just from here. The team celebrating wonderfully. They're really, really loving it. All right, congratulations to all the teams. It's been a wonderful tournament. Georgia take it out. But every team here put on a good show, and we thank you for them for their play, bringing it, and entertaining us all with 5 days of just excellent hockey.
There have been a lot of excellent games throughout this week, and I think that's a testament to the way that these players are really evenly matched, and they do a great job. So the Ice Blacks coming off the ice, give them a little bit of a cheer here as they exit. And
fought hard.
Yeah.
Saluting the crowd that's been coming out all week.
Every night, yeah.
Big numbers.
It's been very good to see, and they're taking their lap, and Georgia is getting it set up for their last photography there, so good on them. And a successful tournament, Matt. So why don't you take us home and tell us, how was Dunedin for this, and what do you think of the tournament?
Well, as a hometown lad, I'm really proud of what we've been able to put on out here. It's come together really well. We've had a whole month of hockey from the beginning of the women's tournament with all the teams arriving and training throughout the week.
Yep.
And our wonderful facility here at the Dunedin Ice Stadium. It's a great facility. We can only improve from here as well. I'm just super excited to have been part of this, to be fair.
I just want to thank you guys for inviting me to do these last couple games with an exciting event and a cherished opportunity.
It's wonderful to share it around with all our broadcasting partners from around the country. We've had Ian Wanamaker, we've had Joel Bredin here as well, Bill Falcone. They were here for the women's tournament. So the whole New Zealand representing up here on the ice. And a big thank you to our crew who've been bringing us Hayden Potter, Nate up here on the camera. Down on the bottom we've got Michael Domigan. Even got Josh Krutzmar helping out last week, and Connor Dobson as well. Sorry, Nate, I forgot your last name, but we've had a great time bringing it to you. It's been wonderful. Thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed what we could do here. And, hey, if we can do it at all in a couple more years, I'd be even happier.
And we'll be seeing everybody just next week in the next round. Hockey does not stop.
New Zealand
Hockey doesn't stop in New Zealand, not in the winter.
Yeah, you can always check out the YouTube channels if you're from overseas and want to see some of New Zealand's best players perform week in, week out. I've been Matt Whiffen.
Matt Chavez.
Dave Dubnik.
Thank you, everyone, for a wonderful 2025 IIHF Men's Ice Hockey World Championships Division 2 Group B we're going to cut our fare, and hopefully we'll see you all in a few more years. Ka kite anō.